Welcome back to Stationeers. This is my moon playthrough on Stationeer difficulty, also known as hard, though, yeah, on the moon, how hard can it be? With brutal starting conditions, not that it matters anymore at this point, since we're, how many hours are we in? 32. Yep, almost 33 hours. Though the traces of the brutal start are probably still showing somewhere for those who know where to look. For example, my greenhouse still consists of just one little plant boxy thing over there, over yonder. You can't see it because the plants are shy. And so it would be time to make a greenhouse, and I want to start with that this time. Also, this room needs to be filled with oxygen. Yep. So I want to put the greenhouse out there, which has been a plan for several episodes already. And here I want to make a little corridor with yet another airlock, so we can pass through between these two rooms. Everything is sealed, and the greenhouse gases, literally, will be coming from here, or so I hope. And then the pipe would go here along inside the corridor and through the airlock walls, through the airlock doors. Since at the top that works, yep, even with glass doors and composite doors. So let's get going. What?
Waste tank critical.
Oh. Well, let's do that first then. Bop. This is something I should have come up with way earlier. I mean, according to Steam,
Oxygen low.
I'm 1900 hours in now, though in reality that would be like, I believe, 1700 hours, rather. The idea to be able to vent my waste gas without having to go indoors, just, you know, plop it into the tank canister holder, and then it goes into the station. Eventually then the pressure in here will increase, of course, but for that I have a solution in place. You can see down here 70 kilopascals, not too much. Here we have an active vent, which will automatically pump from this room into this pipe, which is indeed the greenhouse gases tank once more. And here are the plans. How are we doing? Harvest time. How are we looking here? Yeah, this bug is still in there. This pipe, this is the simple fridge, you know, which just needs a connection to cold atmosphere. So in here we have oxygen, and this is at -102 degrees, which I just did by slapping a pipe radiator onto that thing at the top. And I just want to put that again, just to let it cool down indefinitely, because I heard that on the moon the ambient temperature is not absolute Kelvin 0, but 50 Kelvin. Now let's look at the phase change diagram. Uh, 50 Kelvin. 50 Kelvin. So you can see that at all pressures, nitrogen would still not be frozen, though at some pressure it would, like 100 kilopascals already, it would then be liquid, so that's something to consider. I tried that on a creative moon base, so it's rather fun to have all of that available. And then I made an interesting cooling solution, which was I had, imagine we're in that other base, right? The outside had these liquid pipes and the liquid pipe radiator of the radiation kind, so it was cooling down the pipes further and further. There was nitrogen in there, and in here there were the same pipes, and yes, there was nitrogen in there, so it was cooling constantly. How did I solve this? It's of course ridiculous to do it like this, but I wanted to try it out, and one of the reasons was that I was kind of too dumb to deal with the liquids in there. I don't know why. How could I pump them out? How could I pump them in? So I just made a little room in which this cooling took place with a door, and whenever the station would be too warm, the door would open, the cooling would take place, and then when it would be cool enough over here where the sensor was, the door would close, and a vent in here would suck out the rest of the gas back into the station. That's ridiculous and funny, isn't it? And I just realized it could be even more simple than that. Wait a second. If I have a vacuum room inside the station on the moon, that would still cool down stuff to ambient temperature, no? To 50 Kelvin. So I could just have that indoors, just some liquid pipes here with the pipe radiators for the radiation kind, and I should try that. I mean, it's not really revolutionarily simple, but it's different. And I wanted, I have played so many hours, I want different. Different is a thing. So a vacuum room in which that would just cool that room. Or, I mean, it would just cool itself. Oh, we need to put some water in here. Do I have some water? I do not. And then it would just open the door to cool the room also, which would then let in the gas, so that some gas would then be cooled, and then in the end I close the door again and pump it empty. And this cooling solution is unnecessarily elaborate. It pumps out from here into that pipe where it then cools. Currently it's evacuated, you can see here. And when it thinks, oh, that's enough, it will pump. Actually, no, it will pump that into this pipe so that the pipe has some level of pressure, then this will stop. And this will pump in again, and this guy will turn on whenever the pressure in there is too low. So we'd always have pressure in there, and this guy would pump the cooling gas always into the room, and eventually when it would have cooled enough, this guy would stay on until the pipe is evacuated, and this guy meanwhile would no longer turn on at all. Now this is unnecessarily elaborate. Let me show you what I would do instead now. Do I have to eat? I guess, huh? Where is my foodstuffs? I was looking for a potentially already roasted potato. The the day-night cycle has been turned down to 200 minutes instead of 20 minutes using the console. Yep. And if it were up to me, Rocketworks would just put that in there already as a slider, and would save that with the game, which I believe would be very little work to do. And then we would finally have, well, that would be a different draw, right? I mean, how many people actually play with a different day-night cycle? It feels unreal to do, because you have to reinstate it via the console every time you load, and also this kind of makes it feel like a cheat, even though it's just a more realistic day-night cycle. Well, and the plants, they have their 20-minute cycle, but that's realistic, that's not a problem, I think, because in reality, plants, like introduced from Earth to Mars or whatever planet, would certainly have their genetic biorhythm, I guess, and on this different planet they wouldn't be able to live that, except if they get their particular specific environment, which is exactly what I have to do here, so that would be more realistic. So why don't they just put that in, man? Why don't they just put that in? Supposedly the slider is even already there in the world selection menu. Hey, huh. So this is what I would do instead. A pipe outside, a pipe inside, outside the radiation kind radiator, inside the convection kind, and the pipe is empty. And sometimes gas will be pumped in there, which will have a cooling effect, and when it's cool enough, I will just evacuate it again. One active vent, one pipe analyzer, and if you want to do that manually, well, then you don't need the pipe analyzer, you don't need the sensor, you just need a means of pumping, for which the active vent is perfect, and then just this little pipe here. This requires steel, of course, and gold, which is what you need to make these guys. But, I mean, steel is anyway a very, very intense goal that you have early game. Anyway, active vents. Someone said that maybe we should be able to set the pressure limits with the with a labeler, like we can also set the values of other things with a labeler, and I think that's not a bad idea. However, the active vents are overpowered, aren't they? And then there would be mega overpowered, then there would be ultra convenience, there would be the Omni device, and so I think we should kind of keep that like this, I think, you know, maybe? Not sure.
Support group Salad and keep commercial-free radio on the air. Donate at somafm.com.
There is some water. Yeah, Rocketworks, awesome team. I mean, we have purchased the game already, and they really have to finance that with money that's coming from other sources. And I heard now that the main source of income that they have is actually DayZ. You know, the mod that Dean Hall, Mr. Rocketworks himself, well, made happen. And as far as I'm half informed, I don't know much about that. And that's still the main source of income, I hear. I mean, the gaming industry is in a dire state, and I keep hearing that Steam is actually to blame a lot for that, which is not what I like to hear. I mean, I love Steam, but apparently I shouldn't do so unconditionally. Okay, everything has been dealt with. So I mean, they keep updating this game, and I mean, if I would have made a game like this, which I have not, obviously, then I would realize its incredible value, not monetarily, but as also not the term cultural good. I mean, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? I'm playing this game because it's awesome, and it's a reality simulation of a depth I've never seen before, and I want this needs to thrive. You just need to add a little bit here, add a little bit there, add a little bit there. This multiplies the value of this overall thing. And well, I definitely would keep working on that if I could financially afford it. And Rocketworks kinda can do so, though they are strapped for cash, which is why today they actually launched new DLC, which they say explicitly is for supporting the devs, which costs almost 13 euros, I believe. And 3 of them, and they're very similar, and it's bobbleheads. It's one bobblehead for 13 euros, for almost 13 euros, which is a lot of cash, isn't it? But that's the idea. The idea is you give them cash, and then you get this bobblehead. And you can buy 3 of these, and yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Doesn't work. This is a fast walkthrough airlock kind of thing. I'm gonna show you in case you haven't seen that yet. This is my second workshop. Never wrong to have another one. Actually, this is supposed to be the main workshop, but I haven't yet quite moved over here. Over there. It started with that room that you saw with the plants and the batteries, which is kind of an omni room, and I want to make that into purely a power storage room, which is why it already has these transformers, and the power is coming from here to everywhere, and there's the power generation, you know, the solar panels, of which I want to print tons more, and this will all go in here, and there will be lots of batteries, and that will be in a real greenhouse. And this over here, this was the beginning platform where I made the manufactories to be able to survive. After all, this was the brutal start, and I had to step on the gas. And this white thing here is a relic where this is a one by one box room by one, where you can see here a chute system where I just toss an oxide, and that melts in there. And if it doesn't, then I would just stuff in my waste tank here to that tank fill thingy, which should be a canister filler, because those things are canister, not tanks, but who cares. And this is connected to that room with the passive vent, and so I would unleash some melty gases in there, and so then the oxide would melt. And there's a lot of oxide in there. It's an 8,000 liter volume, and it has 6 megapascals, so that's really a lot. So I still go there to fill my stuff, but nowadays I use that filtration unit to get more bang for buck. Also smart canisters. but still manually driven, not a chip. It's all very, very simple still, even though I'm already 33 hours in. Ridiculous, really. Anyway, this is the power plant, and that goes in there. And the manufacturing stuff is supposed to be not down there. I don't know what this room is actually supposed to be in the end. Actually, I don't know. But you know what? There's a gas tank there, there's a gas tank there, there's a filtration, there's 3 filtration units down there, I believe. And maybe this should just be a gas-related room with gas tanks and such. That would make sense. Here we have another cooling system, exactly like in that little emergency room I just showed, using the very same principle. And you can see here what balance I achieved. I mean, this is the only thing necessary to be able to cool down this amount of... But the room has very low pressure, I realize right now. Once there's more pressure in there, this amount of convection radiators might overburden this. But okay, we'll see. Yeah, so they made bobbleheads, and then the people said, yeah, that's awesome, I purchased them right away, and I applaud that, do that. And I said in one of the recent videos I made about the DLCs, when there was a sale going on, hey, people buy that just now, it's a great opportunity and such, and any true stationeer will put their money where their mouth is. And then I went into the forum today and said, yeah, I'm not gonna buy those. Which, that sounds weird coming from me, huh? But, see, I've invested like 80% of my entire free time of the last 9 months making videos about Stationeers. Admittedly, most of which were just playthroughs, so I was just playing, talking for self-gratification. You know, that imaginable feeling of having more power, more freedom, moving something in the world when in truth, I don't know, nothing's really happening. And recording that and showing that, hey, look what I did. And then this actually kind of blew up the channel from like 30 survivors and 30 subscribers to like 700 or something, until I finally started making some slightly edited videos. And now I'm using DaVinci Resolve, the free version. But actually, and that's still part of my bobblehead rant, on Saturday, that was before I knew of the bobbleheads, and they were released today. Like I said, today is Tuesday, after this Wednesday, after this Saturday. On that Saturday, I said, you know what the fuck, I want these additional features, and so I said, come on, I'm gonna order the full license of DaVinci Resolve, which costs 300 euros. It's also $300. That is underway and will hopefully arrive tomorrow. And then I will have access to quite some more tools, AI tools, for example. You can just say, dude, transcribe the video that I made as text, and then I can go and look at the text and say, okay, there's a long pause here, let's delete that pause, and then we'll edit the video accordingly. You can rearrange the text, it will rearrange the video. That's fucking mind-blowing. But you might think, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome, but it's as a flea's little dog turd on a cow turd. Okay, what am I saying? It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing compared to the rest of what DaVinci Resolve has to offer. This program is absolutely insanely feature-laden, and most of those features you can use them for free in the free version, even for commercial purposes. I mean, dude, what the fuck? You might think, well, this is just a power grab. They want to take the market, which is under the control of Premiere, Adobe, and After Effects and such, and maybe that is so, but this is version 19 already, and they have been giving those out for free for everyone who has been purchasing this, or has purchased this, and I hope they would keep up the practice. Otherwise, I mean, it would be just my luck that they changed that practice now that I have purchased the motherfucker. So do I have something to build with? I need some steel frames. Steel frames. We have steel here, let's make steel frames then. And I'm gonna change the music. See, I just changed it. Super effective. But that makes sense anyway, because the probability that a copyrighted work, and every work is copyrighted, period. That's just true, except if someone explicitly says, this is now public domain, I waive my rights, Creative Commons license this in this version, then there's a copyright on it. And or maybe there's still a copyright on such a thing, except they are explicitly saying, yeah, I have the copyright, but I'm telling you, you can use that for free, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't know what exactly the terminology is there. Anyway, and on YouTube, when you upload a video that has music, YouTube will scan that and will identify awesomely all those tracks, or most of them, and will then tell you their copyright status. And most of them, YouTube will actually tell you, these are fine, these are fair game. The copyright owner has granted the license for these to be used on YouTube. This is different when your channel is monetized, and once I have 10,000 or maybe 20,000 followers, possibly, I will not monetize my channel because I want to keep using that super awesome cool music, and my plan really is to never monetize any of my channels. I have realized recently that it's this big talk, and I wonder if I will actually put the money where the mouth is, and I hope so, because I've realized that for like 1,000 clicks you can get almost if the channel is good and so forth, if you have good advertising going on, you can get like 10 euros for that. And 1,000 clicks, you easily make that in a day, with my channel even, which is relatively small still. Now imagine that times 10, then you're at 100. That is already normal. That's what you get when you go to the office and work, man. So you can actually live off this stuff. But still, my plan is to never do that. But then again, I have a cheat. I have some something some long-term thing coming along there, and I have already mentioned that like a gazillion times, particularly in these Deus Ex YouTube videos, where I'm planning a remake of the original Deus Ex with all the bells and whistles and even atmospherics like in this game. Not particularly to this level, but still stuff like, you know, you can smell something, or there's gas pressure, and there can be a vacuum, it can get too hot, stuff like that, you know, poisonous air, and realistically simulated as in it drifts from here over there, it equalizes in pressure, you can clean the air, stuff like that, because that is a super awesome thing that absolutely belongs in a game, and I want that to be in games. And I'm convinced, I'm 100%, that is 100 mathematical truth, percent certain, yes, that absolutely certainly level, that we will have that in gaming more, even probably, and then I'm at 99%, as a regular occurrence, like we currently have physics, like this kind of stuff. Yeah, tossing stuff around, completely normal to us. It just belongs in a game. Well, it doesn't have physics, what a stupid game. See, it was a revolution at some point, but now if it doesn't have that, we are just like, whoa, blah, 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 blah. If you're sitting in a chair in the sky, you know. Louis C.K., one of the best comedians in the world. If you disagree, fuck you. Do I need some steel sheets? I do. And I'm about 90 to 95% certain that the reason that we will have that in games in the future will be Stationeers, and Stationeers will be known for that. It will be famous for that. Like these days, I guess it's Half-Life 2, wasn't it? Half-Life 2? At least Half-Life 2 said it was what popularized it. Like Portal, yeah, I mispronounced it. Yeah, whatever. You know the game Portal? Of course you know the game Portal, but do you know the game Narbacular Drop? Narbacular Drop is, I believe, what the pronunciation should be, which was the game that invented portals, the non-Euclidean portal reality that the game Portals and Portals 2 had, was, as far as we know, invented by that game, which is also why the people who made that were hired by Valve to make Portal. That's what happened. And I'm convinced that Stationeers will be famous for having introduced this to the world of gaming, atmospherics. And this remake of Deus Ex will have that, and I will be able to finance that with that money that will be coming. And no, this is not about an inheritance, because there would not be enough cash, because we're talking hundreds of millions here. That is a few decades down the line, possibly, so I'm not entirely sure when that will happen. But see, I mean, the trajectory of one's life can be predicted to some degree of certainty, and depending on how close your ears, it's the ears, yep, the ears. How close you press your ears to the rails of reality, you can predict that more with a high degree of certainty, and so I can predict that with an absolute degree of certainty. Yep, I just said that. Alluding once more, la 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 la. So where was I? I want to dig a little. I dig that and this and that over there. Yeah, so I mean, bobbleheads. If someone were inclined to purchase Stationeers as a gift for another gamer, that probability might decrease once they have chosen to instead buy the bobbleheads or some of the bobbleheads, because I mean everybody has a budget, you know. This is usually a soft kind of thing. It's not like, oh, it's 17 euros, now I only have 15 euros left, so it's a no. No, that's not no. So where would the airlock be? Here or here? I feel I want to put that here. And now, well, with the bobbleheads, this might actually take away probability that someone purchases the game as a gift for someone else. And but I mean, the developers, they will know what they're doing. It's just my, you know, old people, construction site, pedestrian looking through the fence kind of opinion that this is not the right idea that they made this bobbleheads thing. I would have purchased it. What am I doing? I would have purchased something along the lines of decals, you know, something where I can plaster some image on that wall. For example, a big sign that says high voltage or nuclear radiation hazard, blah blah blah, high electricity, something, high pressure warning, stuff like that, which enriches your station but is completely unrelated to the gameplay. Like the uniforms, the uniforms, he just said uniforms. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't allow clipping of my videos, as if that little setting that I made there can actually prevent that. Uniforms, he was firmly convinced that is the pronunciation, you heard it here. Oh. Because that would have added something to the game, to me. But the bobbleheads are explicitly no purpose, no value, other than it's here and you have your confirmation, or maybe you walk past them and you can feel a bit your love for the team and thus for the community, because if you love and support this team, then you do love and support the community implicitly. And so, well, but I decided against it for myself. I don't have too much money to waste. Ironic, given what I said before, but I mean, the political landscape is a fucking minefield. When Germany started, in 2016, to decide to take the money of the people and not pay for housing for people who freeze, indeed, yes, freeze to death in winter in Germany, which does happen, yes, it does happen, but instead invite all kinds of foreigners to Germany and put them in 5-star luxury hotels, I'm not making this up, of which often statistically, you at least read that on newspaper articles, you will then, well, okay, I will rephrase that because I have to protect myself, of which you then sometimes read newspaper articles that these accommodations and the food and all of that was not valued, even though it was given for free, and things have been destroyed, or the washing machine was stolen and sold and such. This is, of course, probably exceptional. Well, who knows? Anyway, okay. The thing is, this is not what I want to pay my taxes for. I don't pay my taxes so that things that need to be done are not being financed, and inflation explodes, and then that COVID shit, and they still keep doing that. And every year in Africa, 80 million people are added to the population. 80 million. That is the entire population of Germany every year. As an example, I mean, not all people are coming from Africa. They're coming from all corners of the world, many of which are coming from the Middle East or whatever the term should be, from Islam countries. And I personally fucking hate Islam to death. I can say that because it's just a expression of personal opinion regarding what that is. I can also talk about meme plexes and all of that shit, but I'm not gonna do this time once more, I guess. Anyway, and exactly that is now being imported here en masse, and that's what the fuck. I fucking hate that. I really fucking hate that. Nope. If I had a say, I would say stop that immediately. But I don't have a say, but I have to pay, and that's not funny, man. I have to pay for that shit, and then I also have to pay for the öffentlich-rechtlicher Rundfunk, 230 or so euros every year, and they of course want more money because to have the most expensive state television, state media in the world. You know, by the way, the new Chernobyl sarcophagus, which has been built for about 10 years now, and which multiple nations had to co-finance, is, I believe, 4 billion euros. So, you know, I mean, what the fuck, man? And you know how many, they still call that Grundversorgung. Well, rudimentary supply is, I believe, an appropriate translation of that. A rudimentary supply of information, entertainment, and all of that. That is what they call that. Do you know how many television stations we have in Germany per state? You know that we are a federation. You know the Federation of Germany. We have multiple different TV stations per state, multiple different radio stations, lots of social media channels, lots of YouTube channels, at least one of them exclusively in Arabic, as if those ghetto effects in Germany are not already strong enough. God fucking damn it. And I have to finance that because guess what? If I don't do that, I go to prison. That is indeed how they play that here in Germany. And not just that, but also most of the people that are working for the öffentlich-rechtliche Rundfunk in Germany are on the left or far left. You know, those are the people who have changed the language in Germany sneakily to meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, has become liebe Brandenburgerinnen und Brandenburger oder liebe Mecklenburg-Vorpommerinnen und Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. I guess that no one can fucking understand a word I just said, right? Well, that's what I think as a German when I'm listening to those German words at this point. Yeah, that's not my öffentlich-rechtlicher Rundfunk. No. But, you know. And so that's what they're doing, and they're saying, well, we don't have enough money. We need more money. Dude, you're wasting our fucking money. You're wasting it and fucking wasting it. And I hate you for it. And you know what? If I were really God, I would send you to hell for it. Just literally. And not for eternity, just, you know, just be on fire for a few months or years, who knows, whatever, once I'm satisfied with my anger. And then you're allowed to die, or something along those lines. That's how I would play that, and I must maybe at this point interject. I'm not inviting violence. I'm not inviting someone to commit any acts, and I'm not saying that I would commit any acts. You know, God would do that with his mind alone. So, no danger for me. But I tell you, if I had that mind power, I would use it, and I would use it to that end. Anyway, back to Stationeers. Is this not charging? I swapped both, yeah. Stationeers, so I thought, no, I'm gonna pass on the bobbleheads because they just don't add anything of value to me, and it's quite a lot of cash. 12 euros 50, I believe, or so. And that's... I need steel sheets. I'm walking confused. Well, I guess I have allotted too much task switching time to my political talk just there. Therefore, I lost too much Blah blah blah. And I'm in the wrong fucking section. Huh. The Israeli DLC, by the way, costs like 9 euros or so, roughly, while the robot DLC costs 10 or 11. It's a bit more expensive, and I think that's upside down, man. I mean, the robot DLC allows you to play this game if it's too hard for you in a kind of beginner-ish way, though I think that a beginner who doesn't yet know their way around is unlikely to purchase that because, I mean, they're rather on the side of, maybe I'm gonna refund it because it's too hard, I can't get into it. I don't know. But the Israeli DLC, so I'm thinking that the people who buy that are rather long-time Stationeers players or hardcore fans like I am. But this doesn't mean I'm gonna take everything unquestionably, you know. I still have an opinion, and that makes the hardcore fanism that I do and that I have valuable, because I'm not just adding energy to the system. I also have meaning as a person in this context, instead of just being some stupid, meaningless energy contributor like all the fucking idiots who consider electing Kamala Harris for president. Seriously? Are you an idiot? Of course it's Trump. It's Trump. You have to elect Trump. I mean, you don't have to be a fan of Trump, but let's look at it like this. If something's falling, and something is falling, it's the United States. It is fucking falling. If something is falling and both your hands are full, now you have to let go of what you have in your hands. In one of your hands to catch what is falling, to catch the United States. You have to make the choice, which hand will you open and drop what you're holding. And in one hand you're holding like a super expensive, rare, antique vase. That would be the Kamala Harris hand. And in the other hand you're holding maybe a pair of 200 euro headphones, which will probably not even break if you let them fall. So that's the risk that you take when you're electing Trump. Then it's clear which hand to open. You open the hand that will drop the headphones. You elect Donald Trump. Not that he's ideal or something, but that's not the point. The point is, when there's a house fire, what are the measures that you take? That is what this is. And I mean, seriously, anyone who's thinking about electing Kamala Harris, listen up. What is your opinion on her constant statements like, once I'm in office, I will do this and this and this? I mean, do you not realize she is in office? How easy has it been in the entire history of mankind? Isn't this the most easiest part ever? To measure that the politician is only telling you that so that they get elected? I mean, it cannot be any more obvious. It is at this point a logical similarity. It is the thing itself at this point. It is a logical absolute that she is lying to you. She is in office. She is not doing it. God damn it, what the fuck is wrong with the world? My God. Which, if we're lucky, is really mine. So, let's continue. Beep bop. Maybe we should make some doors when we're at it. And some air leak equipment. Door. Iron. There's some iron ready. Nope. Where will that be tossed out when it has been made? Arc furnace, arc furnace, arc furnace. Here, actually. So let's make some. And Kamala Harris' position on fracking is, no, she's not going to abolish that. No, she's fine with fracking. Fracking's okay. Fracking's good. She's okay with that. That is what she's saying now. But a few years ago, when she was, for example, running for the election 2020, when she said then, she said then in 2019 that she will absolutely abolish fracking, and she said that on multiple occasions in public. So what is she telling you? She's only telling you what you want to hear. And that the illegals are being carried, and yes, they are illegals, god fucking damn it, they are not undocumented. This fucking euphemism newspeak shit. Ah.
Hunger caution.
You know, people keep repeating this stupid meme that it is wrong to hate. Now, let's depict the following scenario. Someone snatches your child, which is like 5 years or 10 years old, and abducts you, the mother, and binds you to a chair, and then takes that child and dissolves it in front of your eyes in acid. Living, of course. Then takes that brew and injects the mother with that acid slightly. You know, not so that the mother dies, but somewhat. This seems relatively extreme a measure. Extreme is actually a nice way to mispronounce that. Now, is the mother at this point entitled to hate the guy who is doing that to the mother? I believe that the answer to this question is yes. Now, with this in mind, we have established mathematically that hatred can be justified. So thanks for clearing that up, right? And we need a large powered vent. Or do I still have some of those? Stacker, electronic parts, which I will also need. 2 more, I guess. Huh. Steel electrominva. I mean, politicians, you know, you kind of expect it, that they say this and then they do that. That's because mankind is stupid. That's why I want to be the boss of mankind. I know this sounds stupid, but I want to be the boss of mankind. I know that I can't expect that to happen. I'm not expressing that, but I'm expressing the emotional desire. And the intellectual desire too. Because I believe I'm fit to lead. I know this sounds insane, but, you know, that's to you. I mean, for example, it is stupid that mankind elects people instead of electing topics. Why is mankind voting for people who are supposed to make happen certain things, and when the actual purpose for you to elect those people is that those certain things get done? What the fuck is the idea there? Why do you not elect the topics and then someone has to do them? And I mean, how we elect a proficient people for an office, that is not a new thing. So that's not revolutionary. Which reminds me, in Germany we have the AfD, Alternative für Deutschland, the Alternative for Germany, which for whatever reason is rising in power, and I think that's due to the things that have been happening in Germany in recent years. A lot. And the establishment is using all kinds of actually anti-democratic tricks, just like in the United States. They're using lawfare, and I mean, what the media keeps saying, what leftist politicians keep saying is actually, yes, inviting violence, and violence has happened twice now. There were two shooting attempts on Trump in the recent 2 months. 2, in case you weren't aware, it was 2. But they are saying that Republicans are supposed to tone down the rhetoric. I haven't seen any violence from their side against leftist politicians yet, and well, that's good. But that's the thing, the relationship is off. You don't demand that they shut up when you are causing the violence with your words, okay? Electronic parts. And so in Germany they're also using all kinds of that want to actually make that party illegal because they realize, oh, it has been elected so much and all that kind of bullshit. But you know what? Back on the topic of mankind stupid and me want to lead. It's idiotic that in Germany the party who has the most votes, but not yet the absolute majority, not yet the 50%, can now just pick the party that they are going to go into a coalition with, so that they can obtain the absolute majority and then indeed be the government. That is completely ridiculous. What they of course have to do, in my opinion, is they have to band together with the topmost next parties until the majority is reached, because that has been the will of the people as expressed by the election system. What the fuck, man? The people, it is called a democracy. That means that the people's will is to be manifested. The government is the servant of the people. I wanted to say now, and that would have been stupid, so I stopped myself. I wanted to say now, they are not the kings. But yes, they are the kings, because a king's purpose too is to serve his people. That's how this works, man. So airlock's gonna be here. In which direction will we pump stuff? It doesn't really matter, does it? But yeah, let's put it on this wall. Right mouse button. I mean, they would have come up with that at some point, I guess, but thanks to me, we have that now. Because it was my idea with the right mouse button. And also, I voiced that this should not be a drag and drop effect, you know. Left mouse button drags and drops, but the right mouse button, after the right mouse button click was introduced, was also still dragging and dropping. And so if you would do a hasty click here, that would become a drag, and the right mouse button effect would not kick in. Yep. Anyway. Yeah, well, it's completely idiotic that people want to abolish, I mean the left at least, the lefties, these liberals, whatever the term is. I mean, I have already talked about the apocalypse, which I believe is actually indeed taking place. Doesn't have to be a divine thing, indeed, but conceptually, that's indeed what's happening, that mankind finds the true answer to the question, how are we supposed to coexist properly? A question that mankind has been pursuing since the beginning, because what does to coexist mean? Well, it means to exist inside the universe in a system where there are other beings, particularly other humans, and we are herd animals. We are group animals. We benefit off of each other and we protect each other, in principle. So yeah, the pursuit of what the optimal coexistence is, that was mankind's agenda for, now I'm talking about this stuff again, since the beginning. And kit door, yeah. Which doors will I choose for this one? I would say composite doors, so we can label them. And eventually, I guess we came to the conclusion that ultimately, I mean, trying to not hurt others, even if we are not immediately benefiting from holding ourselves back in this regard, is the way to go. Don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you, and vice versa. And there's also the positive side of the equation, which is of course not obligatory. That is the voluntary part. Do to others what you would like them to do to you from behind. No, I mean, I'm talking about, like metaphorically hold the door and stuff like that, you know? That is something we came up with at some point, but that to implement that seems simple, right? Don't steal, so you will not be stolen from. Don't hurt, don't kill, don't murder, because you don't want to live in the town where that happens. I mean, what if you are a murderer and you have been doing that for 20 years and now you're like, you know what, they have never caught me, but I have money, I have my rape slaves in the basement, I have everything I need, and now I just want to chill for the rest of my days. And then you're living out your life in your city, And then you hear of some murderer out there doing the rounds, and now you feel unsafe. That's hilarious. Anyway, okay, but that's the simple, the most simple thing. You know, when people throw comparison at each other, when they make an argument, they always say like, "What if you would murder someone?" Or "What if someone would do that to your daughter?" Particularly the daughter, because it's somehow more valuable as the son, for whatever reason. I mean, okay, they're a bit more fickle. You need to protect them a bit more, obviously, not just because of the pregnancy danger and because they're kind of the prey of the male who wants to achieve to be together with them. And I'm not meaning that in a negative way. I'm probably conflating multiple topics that I could now talk about into one stream of words which touch upon all of these, but will sound as if I've voiced only one of these in a wrong or negative way. I'm sorry, that's not the intention. I cannot express in the little time that I have while I'm playing this and talking about this and have no notes here, I'm just talking, the things in sufficient coherence that doesn't fly. This will happen later. I need glass sheets, because, like I said, I can predict my future rather precisely. So precisely, in fact, let's take a note to think about that a bit and enjoy the music. How can you predict your future with precision? Obviously, by being its master. I let that sink in. Or washing the hands more thoroughly. This song is nice, it's not great, but it has a particular synth sequence that I just love. It's just great. It's the right grooves, the right rhythm, the right speed, the right sound. And I hope we will hear that later. There it is.
Power low. Waste tank critical. Air tank critical. Tank critical. Oxygen low. Oxygen critical. Low pressure.
Story of my life. One step short of a miracle. Oh, forgot to save. Yes, I manually save because I'm hopping between versions and I don't want loading save games to potentially autosave in the wrong version over a save game. So the greenhouse, I plan to do the plants in a circle, kind of. A rectangular circle, obviously. What's that? Gold. Because then... yeah, let's turn that down. So, coexistence. It is very simple, brutal comparisons. They kind of work. I mean, I also like to do Hitler comparisons. With someone who is intellectually receptive, because it's just contrast, you know. I like to. I mean, the thing with the child abduction and the acid and so forth that I expressed earlier has very high contrast. It cannot be mistaken, and so you know, that's. If you want to bring a point across, why not use something contrasty, like Hitler or murder or whatever? But those are the simple things when I'm talking about proper coexistence, proper implementation of the golden rule. We're living in an age where we are much more refined regarding our self-perception and regarding what we understand, how we should coexist and how shouldn't coexist, how we should and shouldn't treat each other. And so it's much more complicated. Back then it was easy to say, well, don't kill them, because we're just thinking about the physical person, the animal in a way, you could say. But even that is... okay. But I mean, these days we have to think in a much more complex way, and what's good or bad for you is not necessarily good or bad for someone else, and so we cannot take we have to abstract. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. We have to abstract the person in front of us so that we can implement the golden rule. Because we cannot talk about the concrete you, because we lack the data. We have to abstract. But this means that in some cases we will do another person an injustice, because the concrete person is just incompatible with our maybe very reasonable abstractions that we applied to implement the golden rule in regards to the other person correctly. So what the golden rule, in my opinion, ultimately comes down to, and what it actually is at its heart, is thy will be done, or just do right by the other. You know, what the other person wants, that is what shall happen. And they should do the same towards you, and if we do that collectively, and everybody towards everybody, then we will all be maximally free, because everybody will contribute to this space of indeterminacy between all of us, this space of freedom, this space of love, of the will, of the manifested will that we shall coexist properly, and we will all benefit from that space, while we are all contributing to that space, which is, I believe, the way that mankind will have to live eventually, and that is the implementation of that particular thing is what mankind has been striving for without understanding it. I just thought a bit about it and realized, oh, that's what it is, and since I've understood that 23 years ago, I have been implementing that every day. So, yeah, there's that. But see, what I was talking about the left and the liberals and all of that, and cursing them, of course. What's happening is, I mean, we are observing that people are banding together. This group is this group. that group is that group. But for some reason, the groups on both sides of the debate, and it's interesting that we have something like a both sides situation at all, right? They're kind of banding together. It's almost as if worldwide, I'm hyperbolic here, but that's indeed what's happening, because I know the mechanism behind it, about which I will not yet talk because it's too early for you to know. There will indeed be two groups, two of them and only two. And once everything has been said and done, it will be manifested, it will be understood by manifestation, the way in which mankind has been thinking about the coexistence since forever, you know, when mankind hasn't done that willingly with their own head, for which it has been evolved, you know, there's possibly the lion still behind the tree, even though you would feel more comforted by the idea that it is no longer there. You have to put up with the fact that it probably is still there, lefty, so... You know, but that's the thing with lefties and liberals. They don't want you to, they don't want to check behind the tree themselves. They send you and your kids. Anyway, yeah, I hate them. There are probably exceptions, but you know, I mean, if you know me by now, you know that I'm pretty much nuanced. So, for example, when it comes to the whole, for example, a trans topic, I have a nuanced opinion. I mean, I didn't utter that necessarily yet. I mentioned, I alluded to it at some point, but in principle, even though I'm in many regards a hardcore conservative, you could say, but that is not who I am. That is just how I would agree with some of those positions. At the same time, I am pro-choice when it comes to abortions and so forth and so forth. I have my own position. And so when I say that certain people I fucking hate, then you have to take that with that grain of salt. He is not one of those, because I'm not one of any of you. I don't belong to any group, period. I do not. If at all, I belong to the group of people who think for themselves. I don't know if that is a group, though. So, why did I not buy the DLC? Well, because of the apocalypse. No, because of, yeah, kind of, but it's primarily because the political class these years is insane. See, I believe that ultimately mankind will have to discover that mankind is unable to govern itself. That mankind cannot govern itself, because mankind would have to basically individually or collectively try to form a mind that is sufficiently capable of encompassing the entire world. And I believe that cannot be done, except by absolute submission to reality. If you learn from reality itself, instead of learning about reality and then trying to shape it to your whim, then if you're not submitting to reality, then you will not be able to lead. You will not be able to form it. That doesn't fly. So I must take care. So I put all my money on the bank, and I have, of course, several accounts to be safe. And I aim for high, Zinsen. I don't know what that is, what the bank gives you for having money there. I mean, I don't care, whatever. So that's what I do. I mean, it's less than the inflation, but it's better than just spending right now and saying, well, if I spend right now, then I'm making more use of my money. Yeah, but then they do what they have been doing in recent years, this complete COVID insanity, how they ruled there. Instead of saying the people who are rather safe from that, they just keep doing their thing. And the ones who need to protect it from that, we will kind of lock those away. They locked everybody away, shut down the economy everywhere, which cost us so much money that I must say that certainly has killed more people, because money is life. You can see that whenever someone says, well, we can't afford that kind of healthcare, we can't afford this hospital, we can't afford to have the doctors here, we can't afford this, we can't afford that because the money isn't there. And then they go and burn the money in this ridiculous fucking fashion. Politicians are all fucking idiot assholes. It's just what it is. The degree to which they are idiot assholes is different, but in principle they're all idiot assholes. God damn it. We need a lot of walls. And I guess I need to make some more steel. So I just rather save my money in case they come up with some more bullshit and I will eventually not have enough money to feed myself. Then I can say, okay, then I will just draw for my resources. And that's wise. And therefore I do that. Because that's kind of me. I need steel. By now I believe we should actually... Wait, do I have something here? Maybe. Oh, we do have some resources here. Well, this is a real test of my cooling system, which I have up there, because the furnace is still in here, and I'm now gonna fire it up, because I haven't yet made a furnace room. That's what I need also. Oh my god. Damn. How do I get the stuff in there? This is a problem. I didn't think of this. Let's see what it does. If I go and do this, fly up a little and split, then that's not good. Okay, I think the answer, of course, is to expand the chute system. Do I still have some chutes? I do, in fact. He said, in fact, see, he didn't wear his mask. Did you know that right at the beginning, when this shit started in Germany 2020 or whatever, with the COVID, yeah, okay, it's dangerous, whatever. I have to say certain things. Free speech and all that. Well, we don't have free speech in Germany. They have free speech in the United States. They want to abolish that, though. That's something that's underway. Isn't it? It is. But it's not going to happen. The United States will stand. When the German politicians, the leaders, you know, the ones who should actually help us through this, immediately right at the start, they had their personal dealings, some deals going on. I'm looking not at the text here in the tooltip, but I'm looking at the build goals, at the blueprint as they call it, and I realized they still haven't fixed that. This one should look different. This is the window chute. The politicians in Germany, right at the beginning, they immediately had some dealings, some masks that they were buying, that they were importing themselves and selling in Germany. Yup, they did that. So they were certainly not biased in their decision making, surely not. Let me tell you something, and I said that before. Whenever there is a large-scale change that affects many people, so the populace has to make arrangements. They have to maybe change their apartment, they have to move to another city, they have to change jobs, they have to... All of these changes, these society changes, whenever that happens, no exceptions, whenever that happens, money will be transferred in masses from that level to the above levels. This is true. So, the above levels who have the power to make such things happen have an interest in making such things happen. Now I ask you, when you have the opinion that this, though, doesn't actually happen, because, yeah, then I ask you why. Because you think they are so honorable, they want to do it? I mean, if it takes just a little nudge here and a little nudge there, and then the flow goes in that direction, and I mean, if you can just easily make a thing happen, and you are a soulless piece of shit bastard, which most of them are, then why the fuck wouldn't you? I mean, you live only for now, for these years, and for the years after your political office, after which you will have an office, of course, in the companies for which you worked while you were a politician secretly, with the laws that you established, with the money that you shoved around. Aha, that seems to work. Though these are window shoots. This is not reliable, is it? Oh shit. Okay, I have to swap those. Good thing I didn't try the volatiles yet. Yeah, it was, well, and then when I thought this whole shit was finally over and we could finally see some the economy recover, then they said, yeah, but because of climate change, we now have to tax the transport industry a lot more for CO2, you know? And so then everything became more expensive again. And who didn't care about those? That the people who are overpaid anyway, then they sleep on the bench when they are in their nice in their nice large halls where they talk about whatever. Anyway, in the first if they are there in the first place. God fucking damn it! See, mankind is too inept to govern itself. That's just the way. You can see it in the fact that people have opted to vote for people instead of for the things that those people are supposed to achieve. Why would you do that? That's not effective. I mean, you can see that Kamala Harris is the best example, because very obviously she's lying to you when she says that's the first thing she will do once she's in office, because she has been in office for 3.5 years, or at least for 2 months now, because Biden is certainly not in power. I mean, he hasn't been in power for a long time, but that has only been revealed recently. Do you think before that he was certainly the master of his faculties? Are you really that dumb? God damn it, man. You know who's in power? Not even Kamala, I guess. But that's not the point. The point is, she's clearly lying because she has the power to do these things, but she's not doing them. She's saying, vote for me, so once I'm in office, I will do those things. She is in office! She's not doing those things! Why the fuck is she not doing those things when she is in office? Why is she claiming that she will do them when she is in office? She is in office! I can only repeat it because for some reason it is not understood. She is right now in office, yet she keeps saying with straight face, when she's not cackling like a fucking idiot while thinking about the next hollow phrase to shit out, because of course that's what that is, you know? It has multiple effects, and one of those is this, that she has time to think. And I mean, the amount of time she has to think, she should have more intelligent things to say. Do you not agree? Yeah, that's definitely my intention. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so politicians turn on a dime. They say, elect me for this. In Germany, for example, the Green Party, which was then mostly elected, I'm not actually sure who won. I know that some assholes won. That's what I know. That's what I know. Oh, that's cool. Oh man, I never thought about this. That's cool. I mean, you know that you have to first toss in the oxide or the volatiles, then you have to push a few times until the lid is open again, then you push in the put in the other stuff, and then you push again, and then it's on fire. But now that's much more convenient. Cool. Cool. Okay, let's make steel. Lots of it. And that's more convenient, isn't it? Than standing next to that thing like an idiot. So, I mean, and they said, with us, there will never be war. We will never contribute to war. Okay, I don't know how exactly they said that. But now, who last year at least, was the loudest voice saying, give weapons to Ukraine, give weapons to Ukraine? Who was the loudest voice? The Green Party. I mean, they turn on a dime. They turn on a fucking dime. That's what I'm saying. Mankind is too inept to govern itself, because mankind has chosen to govern by electing people instead of electing the things that they are supposed to do. which is of course how I would do that. It's completely ridiculous. And of course then that's what happens. They primarily strive for power. Because, I mean, you're electing people, and so, well, what's happening is basically the collective will of the people is, these people, they shall be in power. And so they also strive for power. They're certainly in there. It's not me seeing, I don't know, Gespenster? How hot is this? 1K, okay. 38 degrees. Yeah, well, and I think I'm contributing enough to Stationeers I mean, I have some edited videos, and those take a long time, man. I have at least 1 hour per video minute, but usually it's like 4 hours. And currently I have something in the works on which I've been working for over 100 hours already. It's 1 hour to 90 minutes long video about electric systems, you know, in Stationeers. And I'm not actually too proud of that, because I would do things differently this time. I would make a proper script. I just winged it and then try to snippet it together, you know. But okay. Oh, maybe we could make some more steel. A little bit more. What's the mixture in there? What do we have overflow-wise? We have some volatiles would be nice. Okay. I don't know what just happened, but good thing that didn't actually happen. I don't know. I think this was just wedged between here. I mean, 4 hours per video minute. That was in one of my recent videos. That's a ridiculous amount of work, and you know what I'm not doing while I'm doing that? Playing Stationeers. But if you buy a little bobblehead for €7 or for €12.30, which I invite you to do if you so wish, but I would rather invite you to buy the game and gift it to someone else to increase the amount of community that we have, because as I have observed with my German channel, which has like 30 or so subscribers, versus my English channel, this one, which has 1220 subscribers by now, if I don't do anything, the channel with many subscribers and much content will still slowly keep growing. And the same happens, of course, to what was the topic? I've forgotten. If a community of gaming, a gaming community of a game is large enough, then this will contribute to the game's permanent growth, is my take. Just like when you put money on the bank, you know, you might not think so if you haven't saved that that this will actually that it's worth it, but you're underestimating that. Depending on how much cash you have there, at some point there's some kind of takeoff and you're thinking, this is actually a lot. I mean, when the amount of cash that's coming in every month is 1 year's worth of Netflix subscription, then you will think differently. And so I would suggest that you put your money on the bank, as long as you can still get some what's its face, you know, that they still pay you something for that. Because you don't know when the politicians will flip out the next time and just flip their little levers, which will not hurt them, but will hurt you. Because they don't give a fuck. They even say so openly. There are multiple quotes in Germany. I don't know what is their problem? I don't see that. Or I can no longer relate to that, or whatever. Something along those lines. But I mean, that's only them saying it. I mean, they're saying the quiet part out loud. The quiet part has been there the whole time. When they're sitting there, flying there with their with tons of airplanes, sitting there in some large fucking hall, feasting, basically like a banquet, like Asterix and Obelix, with big with the table covered with food and shit, and the gilded halls, and wasting, well, that's not the right term, but you know what I mean, wasting tons of CO2. And then, for what is that meeting? Well, to discuss how we can do something more for the planet in regards to CO2. Ha 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 ha! You don't get it. I would ask you, do you not get it? But I know that you don't get it. You don't get it. I mean, some of you get it, but most of you don't. because that's why we still have this. Okay, maybe I don't know the exact audience here, but if I would be talking to the general public of mankind, which I'm not, then the majority of those are unquestionably fucking idiots. That's true. So temperature is 48 degrees, and this thing has been cooling this whole time. Is there some liquid in there? Maybe I need to take measures actually. I can see that. Ah, stupid me. I can see that right here. No, there's no liquids. The temperature in there is 273, 286. That's 13 degrees Celsius-ish. Yeah. You saw that earlier and then you pretended, of course. So, let's make some more noise. Yeah, I mean, abortion is really not a hard topic. See, let's say a man and woman are fucking. And they are both enjoying it, hopefully. Because that's the idea, that they're both enjoying it. And let's say that he is about to dump his load into the woman. Which means that he is probably relatively interested in the following sequence of events to take place as described. Because that's, well, let's say what instinct would drive us to do. I don't know, this is certainly also an emotional and mental issue that this would be more fun than like pulling out or doing with a rubber or whatever. It's just, okay. Now, if though reasonably he pulls out because they don't want to actually procreate, and she's probably taking the pill, who knows, but they want to be extra safe and whatever. In this moment, is that not an abortion? Shouldn't he have let nature take its course when he was so close, when he really had to put all his mind into fighting that moment and pulling out? Is that not an abortion? Is that not the murdering of a baby? No, it's about the biological process. Well, at this moment you could say that it's kind of just a biological process, you know? When you're that close, then it's kind of an abortion. Anyway, I'm a theist myself, as some of you know, but I abhor religion. And in any internet debate, I 99% of the time will always side with the atheists, because they are fighting the good fight of trying to rid the planet of religion, which is a scourge. It has to be gone. And this is not a statement that I'm making about Mohammed or Jesus or whatever, even though I think I'm convinced. Well, convinced is not even the right term I would use. I would say I know, but okay, let's not go there. That both are bullshit, but that's not me saying that. See, both of them, both of them cannot be true. There are so many religions on this planet, and basically only one of them can be true. And of course it's yours. Yes, it is yours. The one that you grew up with. That happens to be the one. Yes. And now you will elect Kamala Harris because you really thought about this. Fuck, man. Okay, that was not a good segue, because I think that's rather the more of the atheist side, you know, more leftist and such. That's a statistical accumulation there, I think. See, I mean, maybe Jesus is real, maybe he's the dude, maybe if I die, I would think, oh my god, good that I heard of that, and I will be thankful to all the Christians who make me hear of him, and thankful that the Bible is out there and that I heard of this, because then when I'm in the dark, I will, and maybe I'm alone with my own nightmares and all my impurities as a human, which I was of course protected from. I mean, when you have been really drunk, and I have been really drunk in my life, though not in recent years, because for the last 19 years now I have not taken anything, not even caffeine, except that one glass of Coke that I drank about 2011, I think. Yes, no, absolutely no, nothing. Well, then you know that when you're coming home from that collective journey of filling yourself up a little more hood, because you're feeling so good, so you must drink more of this now, instead of just not drinking more because you're already feeling good, so that's kind of the hint that you should take. Yeah, that's kind of an addictive action there, right? I'm not saying addicted to alcohol, but in principle it's showing addictive behavior. It's showing that you're submitting to something in a way that's irrational. Instead of making the rational decision and saying, yeah, you know what, I'm having fun enough right now, and I know that things can turn ugly, so you know what, I'm gonna keep it at this level. And maybe later I will fill up again so they're back at this level, but I'm not add more to this level. But anyway, if you have filled more than that, well, I'm talking from experience, okay? I'm putting my money where my mouth is, you know? Then you get back home and then things are kind of turning around your head, and then you're sitting down and laying down, and then things are really starting to rotate, and then you're closing your eyes, and then it's all over, and then you're like, oh my god. And then open your eyes and hoping that you don't have to do that toilet visit again, which I have done also quite a few times. God damn it. How stupid. Then you will realize how important it really is to have this reality around you that can anchor your mind, this thing that is outside your own perception. There is something that is not you, that doesn't bend to your whim, that doesn't bend to your drug-addled mind. You can hold on to that. Now imagine you die and you would still be conscious, which I am convinced you will not be. Death is the end. But if you would be, then you would not be anchored in reality, and then you would... yeah, well, I mean, who is pure? Who is really pure in the mind? Who has really cleaned up their mind, dissolved all the logical incoherences, the incoherences of will, the incoherences of emotion, who has really become a loving person, you know? And then they will be alone with their demons, so to speak. And then maybe there's a Jesus out there which you though have to reach for, instead of being lost in your purgatory of this imaginary fire that will indeed then be experienced by you, because you are living fantasy. Your entire existence then will be fantasy. What you feel, what you smell, what you hear, even senses that you can't imagine yet will be there. You will just be fantasy. You know, that's basically the Christian heaven, I guess. Or maybe the Muslim heaven, whatever. I don't give a fuck. It's all of it is bullshit in my opinion, but anyway, that's what it would be then. And then you would be kind of lost in that purgatory, and I don't feel that for myself, because I believe I've cleaned myself up enough. But maybe I would then be thankful still that someone told me about Jesus, because maybe then in the darkness where I perceive nothing but my own fantasy, I would think, is there a Jesus out there? And then I would possibly perceive something that I can somehow even subtly perceive is not just a making of my own mind, but indeed something along the lines of reality, but not as hard and intrusive like the reality here, where you can even in a drunken stupor open your eyes and still be anchored in it, but something that you have to really be willing to perceive, so that you can feel there is something out there. And then you can get there. You can feel the hand reach for you, metaphorically, and then you will no longer be alone, and then there will be someone helping you through it. Maybe that's the idea there, and maybe this whole thing is real. And so maybe it's good that we heard of that good news and so forth. But see, that's me. You know, I'm pondering all these possibilities, and I have, as opposed to many atheists, is my take after having seen many internet discussions, not a problem with really deeply thinking about the other person's perspective. I have no problem, I don't fear getting lost, because getting lost, I tried that. I did open my mind. 2001-8-13 was actually the date when that happened. To the degree that my brain fell out. You know, that's why they say, don't open your mind so far that your brain falls out. I did that. But
Hunger, caution.
then I discovered eventually that cannot happen, because there's a paradox in there. I'm not gonna go into that again now. Maybe later, who knows, whatever the fuck. What do I need the steel for anyway? I actually don't need that much steel on me. I need rather some more... And mankind's really stupid. In America, they're calling black people African Americans. I mean, whatever term you would come up with, maybe you would say dark brown, though that's oddly specific, because maybe someone is not that dark brown and they might take offense, or someone is more black than that. Or, you know, white people. Are they white? No, I'm not white. I'm like flesh-colored, or what the term is, except a bit more beige. I don't know. Why do they call them, the black people, African Americans? That's just idiotic. That's just a helpless attempt at not using the term black when they should really use the term black, or something along those lines at least. Because, I mean, if I say about someone, hey you, yes, you are from Africa. No, I am from South America. No, you are from Africa. No, I'm from... No, you are from Africa. Don't be a racist. You are from Africa. Which is kind of what the fuck that is when you're claiming that someone is an African American when they're not from Africa at all. Or maybe they're from Australia, goddammit. Or from whatever the fuck place. I know when they're sunny... I mean, what is a black person? A black person is a white person whose parents or whose ancestors have been out in the sun longer. Who have been out in the sun more. That's the difference. No? And of course, since there have been well, racial inbreeding on the white side, on the black side, on the Chinese side and so forth, I'm saying the mixing between the races is happening, but it's not very strong. It's ultimately still puddles. And that's not wrong. I think the puddles should be upheld. I think it would rather be racism to try to do away with the puddles. I like the interfacing because, I mean, look at, for example, Lucy Liu. Is she fucking beautiful? Yeah, and she is the daughter of, I believe, an American and a Chinese. No, as a wait, was it Japanese? God damn it. Well, I'm not an expert. Alright, I have to do this before I fall over dead. Again. And maybe I should save also. I mean, it's just stupid. Why can we not deal with this whole shit as like adults? Why does everything has to be infantilized? I mean, whatever the beep. Why? I mean, there are videos about Bill Burr, for example, on a channel that is not monetized, and they're still beeping out the fucks. Are you kidding me? You cannot quote a comedian like that and mute half his act. That doesn't fly. I noticed that I'm rather lively today. Though my will still isn't much there. I mean, I want to do some video projects, but I somehow cannot get off my ass. And I even have some videos here, some games here that I would like to play. Icarus, for example, I would like to get a bit more into that. And then there's a game that has like 30 or 40 reviews that is called Heard of the Story. I mean, have you heard of the story? It's a game where you build. It's a third-person 3D village builder, where there are other villages also which are AI-driven, and it's very interesting. And I also made a video about that, but I haven't yet edited it. I'm still working on that. And somehow I cannot get set my will in motion. That is, I mean, I know what's going on there. I know where that is. I could even predict that down to the week, I guess, what's going to happen there. And I guess I'm pretty sure 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, when I can really fully step on the gas again. Yeah. Anyway. I can already break open this wall, I guess. So I'm not saying that, when I'm saying that religion should be abolished, I'm not saying that religions are wrong. Even though I just kind of contradicted it by saying, yeah, maybe it was good that we heard of Jesus and so forth. which I disagree with, but anyway. But the problem is that the way that religion perpetuates knowledge, that's what you would call it, I would not call it knowledge, and particularly how it conveys the knowledge, as in it brainwashes its kids by enforcing the survival instinct, and also as a society, particularly in Islam, enforcing one's survival instinct, where you will have a shitty life if you don't join the cult. When they're abusing the evolutionary mechanisms to teach you that evolution is not true, basically. I know that not all of Islam believes that it's not true, and not all of Christianity believes that's not true. I know. With 2 billion idiots, there will be some idiots which are less of an idiot, of course. Do I have filters here? Yeah, but only here. So the problem is that, but there's also the problem how religion attains knowledge in big quotation marks. I mean, and dude, I need a webcam so that sometimes I can hit a key and they can see me doing quotation marks. Or maybe I should just record a clip of someone doing quotation marks and then have a hotkey here that puts that into my ops real-time thingies automatically, so you can see that. Because it's not knowledge, motherfucker. The way that religions obtain, that they create knowledge is as follows. Someone thinks some shit up and it sticks to the wall, good. It doesn't stick to the wall, okay, then it doesn't. That's how it has happened. That's all. Particularly something will stick to the wall if it convinces you, if it tugs on your survival strings, you know? When it tells you you are gonna have a better life if you pray 5 times a day to the east, and the heathens, you have to smite them all, and so forth and so on, blah blah blah. I mean, it's somewhere in that book. I don't know who reads which passage and adheres to which passage, but I mean, I know that the Quran is no, the Quran, it's just a fucking book, motherfucker. It's just a book that someone shed out at some point in history, and it has been perpetuated like any other holy book. End of story. Now you will of course object because you know that your religion is the one true religion, the religion that you happen to have brought up with. Now 3.5 idiots in the audience will pop up and say, no, I have not brought up with this. Oh, then you're an even bigger idiot for not having a good reason to actually fall for that shit. But okay, let's move on. Muhammad Ali and whoever. Yeah, whatever. I mean, that's what the name... I mean, Yusuf, Islam... It was Cat Stevens at some point when he made awesome music. And then he fell for that stupid cult, goddammit. I mean, religion is just idiotic. But someone else has been brought up with Christianity, and someone with Judaism, and someone with the moronic religion. Oh, they're all moronic, but this one is really obviously. This is basically the Kamala Harris of religions. It's Mormonism, you know? That's, I mean, where things are so obvious, you have to like turn away when you hear that someone is a Mormon, and suppress an audible laughter so that you can get the social situation going, which maybe you shouldn't. Maybe the truth should come out. Maybe nature is trying to speak and is trying to break us free from the insanity of religion by measures like these. So maybe that is true. Maybe the Mohammed religion is true, or maybe the Christian religion is true. But the way by which they attain their knowledge, or perpetuate the belief of the knowledge, you know, by which they spread their knowledge, that is just dog shit, and that doesn't fly. That is, I mean, proper epistemology is necessary. Everybody who has ever been in a survival situation knows you have to see reality for what it is. The Challenger catastrophe, when Richard Feynman came up with his nice text at the end of the Rogers or which commission report at the end, when he said, for successful technology, reality has to take precedence over public relations, for nature cannot be fooled. That is what should be at the beginning of all law books. As the foundation, we need to found our knowledge, our decision making in reality, and not in the collective dream that mankind can indeed form and has formulated. And now we're living the I mean, do you know how many times in history we had a Kamala Harris who has taken down an entire civilization? That has happened lots of times, and we know that. Yet it's happening again. Hard times make hard men make easy times make weak men make hard times, and so forth and so forth. It's the endless cycle. Can you wake up, please, and transfer that which I talked about already, which nature is forcing upon us by experience, the outer calculations in reality? Can you please transfer that to your inside where it belongs, like nature has been telling you for the longest time already, when it told you there's this lion, don't get eaten by it, it's still behind the tree, use your head instead of getting eaten by it. There's evolution for you, you know? You get eaten, okay, you're not surviving. That's the outside calculation of the self. Because kind of the whole... You are the whole universe. Have you not understood that? Ah, goddammit, people are just stupid. You are the cosmos from your perspective. You are God in person, of course. Everybody is. But this is all a mystery to you, huh? Goddammit, people are just stupid. I can't fucking... Ah... I need some plastic sheets. I forgot those. Anyway, so I mean, we are awareness in a space-time situation that is on the outside, and on the inside where is our body and the mind and the data that we put in there, and the immediate spontaneous decision that we make, the chemical situation that we're in, the so-called identity or character and so forth. That is all the same thing in various degrees of inertness. That's all that is. And if you understand it like that, then, like I deem myself to be, then you are fit to lead. If you understand what it is to be human, what we are, how we should live, how we function, when you're able to put that into words, because you have really understood it, instead of fiddling around with this, the uber-id and the id and the subconscious and all of that bullshit. God damn it. I mean, anything that you can't remember, but that you were talking about 5 minutes ago, but which will make you gravitate back to that topic which you have now forgotten, but will probably then remember. And that's what I wanted to talk about. That is already subconscious. It is something in your system that is drifting along, not under your control. It is not in your conscious awareness, but it's part of yourself. It is ultimately part of your consciousness. Anyway. Where was I? Everywhere, huh? Everywhere at once. So as I was saying, I am kind of a theist. I'm definitely a theist myself. So with God, do you pray? I pray to you, and I pray to anyone and to myself. We are God in the coexistence configuration. This is a game that I or you, or I mean, see, that's the thing, you know. I has become we. That's the cosmos. It's really not that hard. And if you understand it like that, if you really try to believe it and try to see it like that, I mean, okay, this sounds like I'm preaching. But instead I'm trying to point something out. If you try to see it like that, let's see. Okay, in theist-atheist debates, I am not always on the side of the atheists. Sometimes they make statements that are wrong. Often enough, they make statements that are wrong. But that's, I mean, see, when you try to believe something, that cannot be a source for knowledge. That's not true. That is not true. Every thought process is you trying to believe something and then run around in your head in that little gallery that you built there, in that little headspace, and you're being in that made-up situation, and you're trying to see the depth of it, and you're trying to build on it, and you're trying to see if it meshes with reality as far as you know it, and so forth. Also, if you have, like, say, a box of Lego, you know, those things that you don't want to step onto, but everybody has played with, including myself. If you have a box of those, and a big box, you know, and you're looking for a certain part, and how do you find that part? By trying to convince yourself that it's there, and you're trying to attune your vision to see that. Just like when you're... I mean, I'm very capable of using my peripheral vision, and so there's, for example, that bottle, there's that computer, but I'm still staring straight ahead at the computer, where there's the almost vision-filling the monitor, because I have a big-ass screen, and I can touch it when I stretch my arm, because I'm apparently one of the very few people who have understood what the first-person 3D interface is meant to be used, like it is meant to be used as a replacement of your human 3D, of your human vision. I mean, duh, right? It's very obvious. You're trying to simulate with such a game, first-person 3D, that you're really there. That's what this is. But why is your screen small then? I mean, maybe your screen is huge, I don't know, but your effective screen size, I mean, how far are you sitting away from the motherfucker, huh? How big is your effective screen size? If your effective screen size is small, and therefore you would rather have me have a field of view like this, because that would feel more natural to you, then you're doing it wrong, and you're doing it objectively wrong. I mean, maybe there are some objective reasons for which you have to do it like that. The money that you have, the desk that you have where you can place things, that you're in a social situation with other people you want to watch too, that the television's over there, blah, blah, blah. But if you have the freedom to choose what I've chosen, and you don't choose it, then you're objectively doing it wrong. There's no debate. I just don't know how I get to that topic. Just ask the subconscious by not doing anything. Let it bubble up. I'm thinking about how far to build this in this direction. This is fine. This is fine. Speaking of which, let's save. So when you're looking at the box of Lego and you're tuning your vision by believing that it's really there, then you are more likely to find it. And this is not magic. This is just you adjusting your perception system, your perceptron. You're saying, hey AI, I'm looking for things in the realm of speech in particular. Don't analyze my video in this regard, in regards of this and this and this, but in regards of speech in particular. That works. And so when I say, if you try to believe that you are God yourself, which I do believe, I mean, this channel is called God the Creator of the Universe because I believe that I am God the Creator of the Universe. But don't quote mine me. I believe that you are God the Creator of the Universe too. I believe that we are God the Creator of the Universe. And I have come up with a concept that would explain how this whole thing came to be, what decisions went into it, what the algorithm was, why there's evil, what the fate of the universe is, blah 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 blah. But that's not where I want to get into now. What I want to get into is how did I get there? Yeah, I was talking about abortion. Yeah, that's what it was. And see, even though I'm a theist myself and would then say, well, the child that is about that baby in there, these 4.5 cells, okay, a minute later it's 8.5, admittedly, but still. That baby in there is God! You would not kill God now, would you? Then they make sure that as many babies get born as they can, and then they make sure that they have the shittiest possible life by destroying the economy. That makes sense, I guess, for leftists. Because inconsistency is the own consistency that they have. Yeah. So when you believe that, then you will sometimes maybe get a whiff of, I wouldn't say that being true, that's I mean, then we are in the realm of fantasizing, you know, then we're in the realm of just making it up. That's a religion then, you know, that's okay. Religion is, no, that's a fantasy then. But that you can kind of detect, detect is putting it wrong. Yes, I will make a backup, but not today. I'm recording a video. Ask me again tomorrow. Then you will find, just like when I say, when you have thoughts about something, then you will come up with new ideas if you really believe that there's something there. And I have done that at a relatively early age. I told myself, you know what, Newton and Einstein, what made them special is just one thing. They believed they can be special. They believed that they can come up with their own better solutions. And you can too. You only have to detach your mind from the collective and think for yourself. That's all. I mean, of course, you have to do it for a while. I'm not saying that this is a 5-minute task. So I do it then. You're a non-player character if you think like that. You're a non-player character if you don't think for yourself. An NPC is not controlled by themselves. Wait, what? Let's wait a bit. So, am I comparing myself to Newton and Einstein? Yes, but not in the way that you would now like to quote mine me. I'm saying that I certainly have come up with my own original and very cool ideas. I mean, here's one that I've uttered before, and by now I know it's not actually a new idea, but for whatever reason it's not lived by mankind. You know, there are two things in the world that are in your face pretty much. A lot, it is your smartphone, and less in your face, but still relatively often, is a phone line where you call and they say, press 1 for English, press 2 for Spanish, press 3 for the sales department, and so forth. So we have by now, by default, screens that can make calls. But these screens that can make calls don't show us the menu of the things we can push there. Is what the fuck the correct term? I think so. I wanted to make glass. Mankind, hello! Asleep at the wheel, as always. Mankind cannot govern itself. Okay, I like this song a lot, but it smells like one of those copyright problems. I don't want to mute the music, so I just choose a different one. Man, I'm looking forward to my DaVinci Resolve license tomorrow. The things you can do with the AI tools in DaVinci and the tracking, 3D tracking. I mean, I'm probably gonna have some decals in my own stations, which I will just fake, you know. There will be this area and I walk past it and there will be some kind of logo and then I walk past and it will be 3-dimensionally correct because that's what you can do with that thing. Not always, because there's also some work, I'm not saying that, but you know. And you can just, when there's a music track running, you can just push a slider and turn the drums a bit louder or less loud, or even mute them, or the voices, or the background sound, or the bass line, whatever. You have all of that direct access, AI tools. Just click the slider, done. That's really how simple it is. That is how powerful that tool is. And it's free. I mean, what I just explained to you is not free. These are the tools that are part of the only of the studio version. But if you are playing around with, I mean, seriously, today at the office, I recorded a video of some fucked up hardware they were selling. I mean, some hardware that was in a fucked up state, which we are also selling, but not in the fucked up state. And so I was talking about talking to our manufacturing people, and I was showing them, here, this is what's going on. But the video had some sound because I couldn't mute the microphone sufficiently, so there was some people on the phone, and I didn't want to distract them with that. And also, I mean, who knows? You gotta be careful, you know. And so I wanted to mute the sound. And there is some internet services, of course, which can do that for you for free, but then they plaster the logo on there, but the video also had to be rotated by 90 degrees. And then I thought, you know what, I already know DaVinci Resolve, and I will just download DaVinci Resolve, the free version, now at the office and install it on my computer, because since I'm a developer, my machine is open, so I can install what the fuck I want, because I'm responsible for that machine, and I live up to the responsibility. I do. I mean, I have 40 years of IT experience, so no. And an equal amount of programming experience also, though the actual programming experience is not that deep, you know. And as opposed to many people who would say, well, I have also decades of IT experience, but yeah, but have you spent every free hour of your free time with it? Like every hour? When you're not watching films or playing games? Huh. So, and that makes me interestingly more human than most of you. Because I had time to think about what that means. Instead of being in the carousel and never being sober enough to determine what the fuck's really going on. So I just installed DaVinci Resolve there and rotated the video by 90 degrees and also did some color adjustment because it was the gamma was not nice and there was the color wasn't nice and yeah, and I just deleted the soundtrack. And then pop, problem solved. So if you want to do little things like that, you can also use DaVinci Resolve. And if you want to compress that in a format that will be small enough and also compatible enough so that you can drag and drop it into a Discord, then you can use that also, because I've done that.
Salad reminds you that you have the right to chill out.
Can absolutely recommended software. It has bugs and some things about it are really stupid, and often enough I've cursed it and said, dude, do you want 300 euros for that? Are you fucking drunk? But, well, I guess they finally won me over. I hope I won't regret this, because so far we get new versions for free, but what if they change that policy now? Just now. That would be so typical for my life. As if reality is reacting to my will somehow. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So... where is the thingy here? I mean, reality is reacting to all our wills. Because, like, I keep saying that, well, goddammit, I don't have walls. I keep saying that everybody is God, right? We are the one dude in the coexistence configuration. And the universe is an artifact, that's all it is. It's an artifact of what happens if you have more than one mind. That's what it is. That's what has to emerge then. And, yeah, it's really that simple. And, that, though, was not the plan. The plan was different, but egal, it doesn't matter. It was about basically to create energy and limitlessly, instead of just for some time and then having the orgasm, so to speak. It's basically to create the eternal orgasm, metaphorically, and that's heaven, and that's what the universe would be. And yes, we will all be immortal and perfect, and there will be no misfortune, and we will be happy, and so forth and so on. That's what I'm convinced of, and that's, I mean, if that would become a religion that takes the world in a storm, that would still be stupid when it comes to epistemology. However, it would be the least harmful religion I can think of, because the consequence of this belief is as follows. Everybody submits to everybody else, gives each other as much room as we can, like I have been doing for the last 23 years, to the capacity of my being. Yes, yes, yes. And I am pure love. That is the truth. And maybe other people can say that too, maybe. But I know in my case, it is absolutely mathematically true. Yep. Well, know thyself is what they say, I do. And this religion would then lead to better people, and to, of course, care more about the environment, because the conviction would be if you die, you won't come back. There's no life after this one. We can't just wipe our feet like the Christians or like the Muslims and then just move on to the actual world. I mean, who gives a fuck about this one? But we would have to really take care of it, you know? So, in many regards, this, if it would become a worldwide religion, which I'm not proposing, but I'm saying this would be the least harmful religion. This would be the most beneficial theistic belief I can think of. Also, as a theistic belief, it would make us believe that we ourselves are God. So if you're ever down, you should remember you are the I am. You are the eternal one. You are the timeless one. You are the one who decided at some point, you know what, let's do that thing forever. And whoops, now here we are. That's what happened, and that's what happened. And so when you're down in a ditch, then maybe that will pull you out of there. And we can pull each other up, because when we know that guy over there sitting there on the street because they don't have a home and they don't have food and they're freezing their ass off and are stupid enough, though I can understand why they're doing it, but still I must say stupid enough to waste their health on booze and alcohol, booze and cigarettes, instead of saving that little money to possibly pull themselves out of that hole, or at least saving their body for who knows what. Anyway, if we think about that, then we think about those people differently, don't we? That over there is God. Jesus said, what you have done to the least of you, that is what you have done to me. Maybe, in my belief, in my view, the word religions are not just memeplex bullshit. I mean, they are mostly bullshit, but they are, in my opinion, something where the people knew they had found something profound about the world, something profound about existence, about reality, about God, that they felt that they had to hold on to it. But they didn't have the correct perspective of it, like when a detective finds a clue, but they don't know yet how to place it, but they just know it belongs in the puzzle. And so, well, that was a strong pull then for the religions, and there's possibly also one of the strong reasons, one of the relevant reasons why people would say, no, it's not just a memeplex, but it's important, blah, 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 blah. You're an asshole for saying that. I don't care what you think, man. Because you're not thinking. So, for example, the rebirth idea of... what's its face? Hinduism? No. God damn it. It's like right next to it. What's the fucking word? Buddhism. Yeah, that's the one. I'm not into Buddhism, but a lot of what I came to myself and to ultimately learn to practice and still do so is pretty much Buddhistic, I must say. But I'm not related to that at all. And I don't give a fuck about that religion, because I don't celebrate a memeplex because memeplex, you know? I don't do that. I am 100% truth-oriented, motherfucker. 100% when I'm not, once again, in the wrong station room. So that rebirth idea, well, the one dude, which is of course still a being, a consciousness, a mind, has turned himself, has decided to dream this algorithmic dream, which will come up with the deepest possible dream until one point, and so forth, blah blah. Let's not go into the technical details, but which I could if you want me to, but there's too much on the table right now to talk about. Plastic sheets. Do I need those? No, I need glass sheets. And plastic sheets. No, I don't have silicone. Silly me. Yes, I do. So that rebirth thing, so that's still, I mean, the God is of course immortal. Because the concept of not existing doesn't make sense. Because any and all meanings that exist within his mind. Because his mind is all of existence, and this I am idea is not something that is the truth about him. That is the imagination that he has when he has no other imagination. When all imagination falls flat, when his mind is as neutral as it can be, when it's just a circle with no imagination at all, when there's no idea going on, then it is just projecting the meaning, I exist. And so the idea of I don't exist is not possible. It's not possible. God cannot die. It's impossible. And so that's why every one of us being God, has this idea that there must be something after this life. It cannot be that the soul, la la la, ba ba, but no, this is the end. This is, if you die, it's the end. The universe is it. We are 100% committed, baby, and this show will be great. the greatest show on Earth, and we will conquer the cosmos. We will populate an infinite amount of galaxies with an infinite amount of people. Literally, but of course in an infinite amount of time, which we will have. I know this contradicts current cosmological models. I'm not stupid, I know that. But the evidence, or whatever you want to call it, that led me to the worldview that I have is too strong, and also my conviction that people are stupid, and the reason for which they are blind to theism. See, for God to be able to make this whole universe thing, which is a thing around us, like I reiterated a few times, I said it is a thing that we can rely on. It is really there no matter what we do with our minds, when before the universe it was a projection of our mind. It was just arbitrary. Whatever we dreamt, that was. And that was us. The ultimate fucking trip, you know? And then waking up to I am was the ultimate spiritual orgasm. The achievement of I am once more. Which I have actually experienced at some point in my life. So I actually know what I'm talking about, it's not just a hypothesis. That was a wild ride, and then I woke up from that, well, let's call it the trip, and I saw the universe around me melt. And then I said, no, this must not be, and so it stabilized again. And I don't want to imply anything with what I'm saying there. I'm just saying I had an I am experience, and it was so profound that let's say my entire mind was at risk. That is how deep it was, and well, an I am experience would do that, wouldn't it? Yes, I went there. I went there. I'm not saying I'm immortal now, though I do assume so, but see, what I'm talking about, okay, religions. This one guy would try to get away from realizing, I mean, God would always wake up from his dream. That would be his thing. You know, dreaming is not something that he does sometimes, it's part of his nature. It's just this circle of perception that excites itself to a shape that is no longer just a flat circle. And Shazam, the kaleidoscope it runneth, and whatever the fuck it trips then. Until it flattens out again, achieving the ultimate orgasm of I am, where the abstraction, the intelligence, sees the similarities when it flattens out the curves, which is what intelligence is, you know, abstraction. Oh, you didn't know that. And then it ultimately it abstracts I exist, and that's the ultimate mind experience. But this idea is then still only held in the mind. It's only in the mind. But the mind is all of existence. It's all of existence. All of it. That's so insane, man. Anyway, and so to make the universe, if the universe was the goal, which it wasn't, but that's not the point, basically the goal was rather to make, I need more steel frames, was to make, to dream a dream as deeply as possible, so deep that eventually God would decide, when he meets some kind of inevitable wake-up, he would decide, I don't want to wake up to I am. The dream is more beautiful than I am. I love this world more than myself. I will not masturbate once more. This time I will have sex. Naja, something along those lines. Anyway, that is why the universe necessarily experiences such a remoteness from God. And that's why people, whenever they seem to believe to catch a glimpse of God, they are so in tears, like I have been, because when I found my realization that God really exists, I was crying, man. I was crying for several hours. That is what happened to me. It was beautiful, and I am not preaching. I'm just telling you what it was. I mean, you don't have to believe in it. I mean, particularly since I'm not telling you believe in the higher being, pray to it. No, you are the motherfucking higher being. You are God. You are God. And I am too. And that's this religion that I think would be cool if we had it as a people, because it would mean that we value ourselves and each other to the utmost capacity of our existence, like we should. And would that not be the recipe, the one best recipe for the perfect coexistence? I think so. And so that is the answer for mankind's eternal project. God damn it. I've solved and no one cares. Hence the channel. Oh shit. Channeling the awesome power of my mind into these speeches of wisdom and entertaining idiocy. See, I mean, when I think of myself as God, which I do, then I don't think, behold, I think, oh shit, I'm stupid, I did that wrong. Did you see that there? God damn it, I should have done that differently. Yeah, sometimes it's just an idiot. That's, I mean, see, maybe that's this so-called egolessness or something, I don't know, but that's once again human terminology. I can't cope with that. It means something else when in the morning versus in the evening or whatever their mood is. It doesn't work for me. Human terminology doesn't work for me. There's too much bullshit in there. That's why I came up with my own concepts and mathematical-ish descriptions of that, you know, but in words. So I mean, that's easy to relate to. Yeah, so religions, then in Christianity we have this idea of the Savior and of the one who sacrifices himself. Well, that would of course be the one I am, who says, well, you know what, let's turn myself into this coexistence thing, or whatever the plan really was. But maybe there will also be in the end one of us who wakes up and realizes that he's God, for real, and then sees the world for what it is, only a projection of their will, and realizes, oh, this is what it is, and remembers and understands, yes, this is the nature of me, I'm God and so forth, and then has to make the choice, like I said, you know, to love the world more, and then that guy would be basically the second coming of Jesus. While the first coming of Jesus would actually not have happened in the first place, because that guy was just not divine. Or maybe, in my worldview, maybe that guy actually did exist as a divine person, as in maybe he actually performed miracles. That is something I can think of if this whole thing is just a fantasy construct, or was, I mean now it's real, real enough at least, that cannot break. And so the guy kind of looked through that and was still in maybe enough in a creator mood that he said, okay, this is kind of all a dream, but these people around me, I love them and I want all of this to be real, and so I will show them the truth and I will show them the good news. This is, we have hope, there's hope for God, there's hope for heaven, and so forth. Maybe that's all true, I don't know. And I don't give a fuck because it's irrelevant. Is irrelevant to the future, is irrelevant to the situation we're in. Which is, and my take is, the apocalypse. Because the complexity to which we are these days trying to live up to the golden rule is so high that we should realize that what we have been doing all along with trying to implement the golden rule, which is thy will be done, is really now the way we should phrase the golden rule, and it's kind of what we're doing, it's kind of how it's being implemented by lawmakers and implicitly also then Facebook and such, which are then effectively lawmakers because they are representing so many people with their platforms, which means that everything has to be dumped down to the lowest common denominator. Thank you very much, which I don't agree with. I do not. What was I saying? Lawgivers, course denominator. Yeah, when they say, you cannot make fun of these people, they will take offense, you must not hurt the feelings of those people. Or, you know, when they believe to have found some definitive truth about certain wills, certain people's wills, certain conceptual wills that are not to be violated, and so they kind of instinctively went for the thy will be done, or when some people say, I'm a woman! Dude, if you don't wear a beard and if you look the part, then we can talk. But not in this fucking state, man. People who call these old ass ideas, which are not old ass but tried and true, motherfucker, just like countries, thank you very much, into question by not just asking the question, but by once again calculating by means of reality manifestation, like we collectively have been doing, instead of doing it in the head. And like doing the woman, but with a beard, then I can also say, dude, you have lost all sense of beauty if you're doing that. Pick one. pick one and stick with it, okay? God damn it. Where was I? See, when these people are, when they push for, you cannot say that because that's kind of, they're pulling this this thing. Wait, that's too distracting. That's too distracting. So, Synthera it is once more. And I have to drink again. Then, I mean, people these days are easily abusing this effect that is now nestled into many of our minds. I mean, the more loving you are as a person, and I can speak from experience, the more you will consider that other people's wills are possibly still correct. For example, the guy who pushed you out of the way at the, I don't know, when there's some, when people are queued up and the guy is saying, no, me first, maybe the person is justifiedly in a hurry because of reasons that are out of their control. I mean, I would probably not take it still, but in principle, I can see such a possibility where most people would not even begin to consider it. And that is something you should please consider what I'm just saying to you. I'm saying to you that a person who is more willing to consider the will of others as the freedom of the will of others will be more likely to come up with a potential idea of where someone else might be right. And this is also what makes me a better writer, or a person who people who think like that make them better writers, because they can run the simulation of personhood better. And what is writing when it's fictional? You're trying to create something that can be believed. Star Wars, what that can be believed, Star Wars Acolyte and said what can be believed, instead of stupid bullshit. And what I as a writer do, I run the simulation. I set up something that I'm interested in, and also possibly some bullet points that I want to achieve, but they are not absolutely mandatory, or if they're mandatory, then I will already have an idea how to get there, and this idea will then always be in my mind, so I cannot get lost when I write, because I try, otherwise I'm just in that situation right now that the characters are in, and I actually wrote one piece where the character is in a real-time situation, where everything is happening in real time, and it's even told in present tense. So that's just an experiment, but I think it worked out relatively well. And I had no plans. I just started writing, this is an interesting topic, let's write that. And then it became a 120,000 word story. And I have to polish this a bit and then we'll publish it. I mean, the editing is really the hardest part, the greatest work. I mean, at the beginning, I'm changing topic again, at the beginning you have the empty sheet of paper, and everybody who starts a new project, or now let's have a meeting at the office, or let's start a new gaming project, or let's write a story. Whenever you start with the empty sheet of paper, then you are entering like God did at the beginning of his dreams. Little God that you are. I'm talking to you, God, to you, when you're starting such a project, then you're at the beginning of your unfathomable, completely undefined possibility space, and you can define it. And that's fun, it's exciting, it's entertaining.
Pressure critical.
So you're enthusiastic.
Oxygen critical.
But in this reality that we're in, which is not yet balanced out, cleaned up, there's too much hatred going on, and the liars are trying to rule us by abusing this effect that we are growing up intelligence-wise to the level of they will be done, and they will just become the absolute demons that are ruling us, and that's inevitable, I guess, but nature will see us through it because it's a cosmomechanical effect, so don't worry. Because the universe is a mirror, and they will see themselves in this mirror, so they will actually burn in hell. Yes. So not like Hitler escaped, but they will not, because death will flee from them. Yeah, all that shit will happen. That will go down. Yeah, basically, I'm giving the prognosis that Kamala Harris will burn in hell. And I like the idea. Yep. And I also like the idea that no one has to do anything. The one who will do the burning is she. Because she will be God looking at the mirror, judging herself. That is what will happen. The mirror of truth is zeroing in. So, I mean, I'm ready. I'm looking forward to it. Because if right now I would be standing before God, I wouldn't even kneel. Because I deem myself on the same level. I deem myself on the level of pure truth. And if in that moment I would realize, oh, that is actually not the case, then I would of course fall to the ground like I should. But see, that's what it is. I deal with the things as they are, as I perceive them. You know, so that's why I believe that belongs in the beginning of law box. You don't bend nature out of shape. Eventually it will catch up with you, and in the case of our identity and society, there we could bend it out of shape the furthest, and that's why the world is so completely insane right now, because mankind can collectively go insane, but eventually reality will catch up. For example, when once again the nations fail, or when once again, or when, which is what will happen this time, when the apocalypse strikes. Yep. Because whenever a mind truthfully comes to the conclusion, I cannot solve it, but I feel strongly that there needs to be a solution, then in this moment the mind casts a spell upon the universe. It is saying, universe, you do it. And so in this moment a very slight force is exerted onto the universe on that actual topic, moving things in the respective direction. That is true. Insane, huh? Whatever, you don't have to know. Just know that you want to stay relaxed even when it's hard for you to do so. Because that is that put into practice without you having to believe that it is so, because the belief has no bearing on the mechanics working. That's the cool stuff. And you know that you should stay relaxed when the tide is high, don't you? See good. What a religion this is. Leading the people to the right place, and possibly, who knows, even for the right reasons. How big is this room to be? Well, this is about the size, yeah. There's a green hall. This greenhouse will have its own greenhouse effect, you know. The devs are doing something on the front of terraforming, actually. I'm not saying they're building actual terraforming mechanics, but they are preparing for a different way that world atmosphere is authored and relief is also changed. So that lends its... So maybe Rocketworks is possibly, and this is really me talking out of my ass, please take that with a spoonful of salt, and then another one. Maybe they're gearing up to beginning to work on that full-priced terraforming expansion. God damn, the wrong building again. That they were talking about a while ago.
Waste tank caution.
Maybe that's what that is, because they have to make money, right? And once, I mean, there is actually a terraforming mod for Stationeers, and it was very successful. I mean, the idea of terraforming was brought to the developers already, but they didn't deem it so much worthwhile. Then the terraforming mod came along, and then the devs saw, oh god damn it, this is actually appreciated a ton. And now they have decided they probably, and I say probably, want to do such a thing, and maybe, I mean, maybe they're gearing up to beginning to do such a thing. That would be so awesome. I mean, that would be definitely, if they cost 30 euros, they would have my cash on day one, and even for 60 possibly, who knows. I don't know, this depends. This is the gray area, would have to first think, but 30, no questions. So until the time when I won't have a problem with my cash, I will keep my cash in order, because I am not in power. And the people in power, they're utterly insane and despicable pieces of dog shit. That's why. Oh, maybe I should turn that off. So then, Judaism, I don't know the first thing about Judaism, but I believe that the Judaistic theism is indeed kind of slightly technological, isn't it? I mean, apart from that stupid idiocy of these super conservative Jews who say, well, on a Sunday I cannot use a lift, but I can prepare the charge of this vertical device thing here, and then on a Sunday I can pull this lever which will release the air pressure into this cylinder and will move the platform anyway. But that's not really a technical device or something. I just made that up, but something along those lines is true, and the thing with the not lift using is also true. So that exists and is fucking ridiculous. And it's hilariously ridiculous. Why do I need frames, goddammit? I need something else. I need sheets. Oh, sheet, I made frames. But, I mean, their perspective on this whole universe thing is maybe a bit more technological, you know? A bit more implementation orientation. I don't know why I think that. It is somewhere, some dim knowledge in my head that is piping up in this abstraction that I remembered, but not the details that led me to it, you know? But maybe it's just wrong, I don't know. Maybe it was just the movie Pi that got me there, who knows? Which is not a proper depiction of Judaism, I know. So maybe if you want to look at the world in a theistic way, what you have to do is look at all the religions combined instead of individually. Because if you want the whole truth, then you have to look at all the things instead of at some one singular dude who says, I know now, listen to me now, let's listen, gather up, and also give me money. Which is what that usually leads to, not always. There are actually some wise dudes, supposedly wise dudes. There's, for example, some guy, I don't know his exact name, I believe Sadhguru. What's Sadhguru? And I've listened to quite a lot of the things he has said, and I agree with most of it, I believe. So that's pretty good. It's good that we still have some wise people on this planet, particularly that we have some people still that are listening to some wise people on this planet, which is really the main problem. Because wisdom, there might be enough, but the wisdom of shutting the fuck up and listening, that's not so prevalent, and I'm not blaming mobile phones because that would be me perpetuating a meme. And I'm not like that. I'm too wise for that. Oh, that ego thing again. Yes. Ego is not wrong. It needs to be healthy. A sane sense of self-worth. So, and again, this is not a voiceover, so if you think, why the fuck do you play that like that? Because I am also thinking and talking meanwhile, and maybe I shouldn't, but I wanna. That's why this happens. And there's about 1 billion other channels on YouTube, and some other video platforms also, and there's Netflix and all the other channels, and there's other videos on my channel too. And so if you don't like this one, kindly subscribe and upvote, but don't watch this any longer, but watch a different one. Because I want that will be done. So, why did I make these steel sheets? Do I need them for this one? Yeah, I think so. No, I need, Man, I'm really completely losing track here. Oh, the one thing that I had to make is walls. That's typical. Typical. But it's not wrong to have the other things. Also, I need some airlock stuffs. It's getting a bit warm in here, or rather the food that I ate. You know that I only have been eating once a day for the last 19 years, and that's also when I drink. So I get up in the morning, then off to the office we go, and then it's back in the afternoon, and then I drink my first sip of water and eat my food, and that's how I roll. So the whole day without water and food is not a problem for me because I've gotten used to it. It's completely normal to me, and I cannot actually imagine eating more times a day for me, I wouldn't want to. It's a waste of time. It is, you have to, when do you digest all that? And I would not feel comfortable having all that stuff within me, and so forth and so forth. Anyway, so the food is now kicking in digestion-wise, I believe. So, I mean, because I have this special relationship to eating, I also have a particularly clear view, not just of my mind versus my body, which helps with wisdom and intellect, but also helps with realizing that when the radiator is kicking in of the digestion, when it's really going. And I have that now. Hey Google, turn on the fan. Okay, airlock. What do we need for the airlock? What do we need for the airlock, Hans? Say it to me! Say it with me and to me, say it! Did you know Hitler was Austrian? Yeah, but he flourished over here, didn't he? Oh well. What's this? I don't know why I say things. So what other religions do we have? Then we have Christianity with the Savior. Then we have Islam. What could Islam's divine truth be that it possibly carries then? Well, it could be this idea that the world is kind of a prison, that we have to be meek and humble, and that is true, until finally the time has come when the Lord will release us into the real world and will judge the wicked, and all of that will happen. Except the Lord will be yourself, haha. Looking into the mirror of reality, ha ha ha, and burning, ha ha ha, yourself clean, hopefully, or to a crisp. I mean, this mirror of reality thing, how can one imagine that? Karma space is basically how I would look at it. See, if this is the one dude who has turned himself into the many, so I am God, you are God, everybody's the maker, then the world would not just be... The world would be a particular... We would have a particular relationship to the world. It wouldn't just be there, but it would be the place to be. It would be the perfect place to be, necessarily. It would ultimately be the amplifier of energy, which is what this thing will be. Instead of using the will muscles to induce some more shape into the circle and thus dream a dream and then enjoy the dream and... rile up the dream some further and eventually just ride with it emotionally and eventually just wake up due to the mental abstractions in that super orgasmic I am flow until the final realization has come to a standstill, which is when no past or future happens, because every moment is the first, because it's completely formless. I mean, what do you think how time works? Time is now. There is no future or past, there's only the living moment. I mean, anyone believing something else, they're kind of misinformed. And when God wakes up from a dream, then there is no more process, no memory, no aspiration, no intention. There's nothing. There's only I am. There's the perception of I am, the knowledge, the understanding of I am, the experience of I am. There's only the fact of I am, and all of this is I am, and is experiencing itself as I am, and all of this is just an isness. Quiet and all-containing. Because what is I am? Anything it wants to be. It's God. It's anything it wants to be, of course. Living fantasy, that's what God is. What the fuck else would God be? How easy can it be? How simple can it be to understand what God is if you would ever want to know it? It is living fantasy. And it is all of existence. And so what is the universe? Well, fantasy, of course. The universe is fantasy. But not fantasy on human level, where we would think, oh, it's so delusion. No. No. See, when you think a thought, that thought is now in your head. It affects your thinking. In this way, the universe being in our mind affects our being. And the universe cannot be undreamed. Shit, man, I need more walls. Don't tell me I used flat walls here. I mean, tell me if you want to, but I don't want to hear it. Ah, okay. And once again I need glass, glass, glass. These ginormous building projects. Yeah, so I mean, when all of that dissolves and only AM remains, what is about the past or the future? What about time? Well, time is a concept that only makes sense within the universe. Before the universe, there would just be the dream, or the wake state between the dreams, and I'm again in the wrong station, but this is a Stationeer difficulty,
Hydration critical.
so I guess that makes sense. Ah, look at that. Is that some universe timing already going with me, or is it not yet the time? Anyway, so how would this be a mirror? I mean, okay, it just came into my base and said, yeah, well, I'm in the wrong place, but I can, and then it said, hydration critical. And before I swapped my battery, and it said, battery low, just before I swapped that. And this is the kind of self-affirming, happiness-ish event kind of flow that one can expect to happen once the mirror kicks in. Is kind of how I would describe it, and that would of course only be the very earliest instances of it, because later we are gonna be, with all our being, mind and body, constantly be immersed in a constant influx of ever-increasing laser light of existence that no one can stop. No one can stop. Heaven will be a prison for God that no one would ever possibly want to get out of, not that anyone could get out of it. So what about dying? Will we be immortal? Yes and no. You can still die, but since no universe effect will kill you, because that would mean that you're not aligned within the
Oxygen critical.
center of your mirror shell, of course, which is not a physical shell, it's a timing and flow shell. You know, where are you, when are you, what is happening on the quantum level, what events are taking place when, and so forth. It's all connected. I mean, because the further you zoom in to the quantum level, the more you're zooming into the entirety of the universe, because you're zooming into the all-connectedness of things. I need glass. Because all is one, and there you can begin to see it. The non-locality of quantum mechanics kind of hints at it. What interesting is that the nuclear objects, they become point-like. I mean, what extent does a proton have, or a neutron? How big are those? They are localized forces, that's what they are. And see, they are localized forces. And so in that moment we have kind of a transition between forces and matter, and we have a transition between conceptual and actual. Isn't that mind-blowing if you really think about it? That in the quantum realm, or if the realm where we're really zooming into the bottom of the universe scale-wise, that we are kind of looking at, that we're beginning to look at concepts instead of at matter. Isn't that interesting when we consider that the universe is mind? And that's also where the many worlds hypothesis comes from, when they observe that, like, the universe is kind of making decisions there, and so this will lead to other branching universes and so forth. Yeah, bullshit, of course. This universe is pondering the next step. There's only this one, there's only this moment, and it is a mind, and it is us. Ah, things are so obvious and simple. I didn't bring a wall. What's the time? So we are living in times when it will be harder and harder to not violate the rule that will be done, because it is harder and harder to properly implement the golden rule, if you're not implementing it in the form that we just unconditionally submit to the will of the other. And I believe that is really the only way to ultimately coexist, because our awareness of right and wrong regarding ourselves, what we want and don't want to experience, becomes more and more refined. I believe you agree. And doesn't mean that we make the right judgment. I mean, if there's some asshole out there saying, hey, I want to be worshipped, and they are not worthy to be worshipped, then that is a stupid will, and we are not to live up to it. But what if they just want to push that onto us? And okay, that's a stupid example, but anyway, people are abusing this "that will be done" effect, and people are complaining, why is there no revolution? Why are you not smiting those politicians who do these things to you? Because the people are too civilized to be certain enough to know that this would be, whether that would be right, don't quote mind me, whether that would be right or wrong. And also another thing, of course, the problem is orchestration. The thing is, the people, ultimately, the democratic system of the United States and Germany, for example, they are well designed, but ultimately, when push comes to shove, they are shittily designed, because the people have to centralize their power. That is necessary. And this means that their power needs to be manifested by individual organs, or whatever you want to call that. I guess I need some resources from out of them. And this means that these few people will have power over the many. And if these few people, which are no longer really guided by the will of the many, but if there are too many people in between which know better supposedly, or if these systems just run amok and go insane, then the people are imprisoned. I mean, these systems are organized. We gave them this power of organization, of orchestration, so that we can be, govern ourselves by these means. But if these systems run amok, then that's the worst thing that can ever happen to us. And so it is once again showing how little mankind can govern itself, because mankind has once again not really pushed as hard as possible that these institutions never become corrupted. But they have become corrupted. Very much. And so now the people cannot say, okay, we, the people, decide this shall no longer be the case. Even the public thought that maybe someone should band together and do such a thing. And I'm not trying to say, I'm just talking concepts here, like I'm talking concept the whole day. If you have realized that, now zeroing in on this concept and saying, see, that is what he is about, he's evil. That would just be stupidly stupid. And also it would be stupid. And it would be stupid. And stupid and stupid. Wasn't there a lever here by which I could... I'm not sure. I guess not, whatever. Let's wait a little bit then. I can put some glass in. Maybe I can print some more of these walls. That would be good, yeah. Wall. And then we will need a area power controller. For which we need solder, which I believe we have. Constantin. So the people can't even orchestrate nor organize to band together to say, hey, our institutions have run amok, we have to write things. They can't, because of the institutions that they created themselves. Once they have bent themselves out of shape, we're out of luck. Society, the country, the state can't but fail. Isn't that, I mean, that's kind of what it is, isn't it? It's hilarious if you think about it. That from the start, the failure was planned. Oh, look at that! Still have some of that stuff. Glass and plastic sheets. Solder. I don't have solder. It's really none. Redonkulous. I mean, now I can say I searched everywhere, huh? Well, I guess I have to make some solder then. Damn. This is awkward. Plastic sheets. So about the apocalypse, I believe that we are kind of confronted with a cosmic force, and we know that. We know that, and everybody has to admit that it is so. And this cosmic force is the increasing of awareness in human beings. We are becoming more aware. And we want more. Basically, this is another indication that my theistic worldview is correct, that we are trying to turn the world into our fantasy. That we are trying to, from the start, always our goal was to shape reality so that our emotion feels more comfortable in it. We accept it as reality, yes, but we want to shape it, which is we are living inside a book, but we are also co-authoring that book. And if we do that stupidly, and then the environment will kill us, which is also slightly indicative of the fact that we're living inside a mirror. Because it will throw that back at us, though admittedly that's not quite a strong indication right there. So we are trying, basically our will, our emotion. Will, in my opinion, is emotion. You might say, no, will is something else. Like I said, I don't use human terminology because I deem it stupid. Because, human terminology lives and dies with the people who use it. And therefore, that doesn't work, right? But emotion, I think everybody can agree on that word. That's how you feel. And sometimes your mood is not just fear and anger and such, but there's also happiness, or today I feel slightly orange, or whatever term you would use. When you're listening to some music or watching some film, then sometimes you will feel emotion that can just not be put into words, and that's why I refer to that as music, which is still a broken metaphor, but is at least expressing that it can have any sound, instead of just being this particular. Okay, now we have enough to make solder. Let's do solder then. Oh, solder mio. Before I do this, I wanted to show you this up here, this fast entry thing in my workshop. Let's go in. La 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 la. And inside we are, without any loss of atmosphere. Because it just closes the outer door and opens the inner door simultaneously, and that works. And when I go outside, well, then things get slightly more complicated. At least I'm pretty sure that no atmosphere is lost. And this dude, whenever I'm between videos and watch and check this station out to check what I want to do, I stumble across this dude and remember, you had to remove that. You had to remove that. Always forget that. So one of these is supposed to pump here, but we need an insulated one. Shit. We need 2 insulated passive vents. So emotion. Let's say you have a strong emotion regarding a certain thing. And that is a world thing. Let's say it's political. Then you want to maybe turn that into action. Maybe you talk about that. Maybe you want, maybe you turn that into a vote. You elect, you elect someone with your vote. Then that, you would call that then will, right? But isn't that just your emotion, but in a more macroscopic form? It's still the same thing, isn't it? Just like I said, your identity is the universe. Your identity is the universe. Your flesh, your mind, all of that, and the stuff around it, that's your identity. You are awareness in a space-time situation, and that space-time situation, immediate and inert, that is your identity. And in this same way, your emotion and your will are the same thing. Only will is the thing that is maybe more inert, more macroscopic, more insistent, bigger, that kind of stuff. Be back soon. Want to make solder? I wanted to make something else also. I forgot. Anyway. Hey, that's good. This is actually very good that we have this now with the. I mean, the double click was possible before also, but who knew that? Too bad we don't know the right click. Huh? I mean, who knows right click does that? They're not telling us in the tutorials. God damn it. We really need to give Rocketworks more money, but they agree. That's why they made this bobblehead stuff. Why don't you give them more money then? Because I'm giving enough. That is all. I don't get enough out of it, and and I also don't like the decision that they made there too much. And I applaud if you buy that. I'm not saying I don't discourage you from buying them. Nope. Buy those and do it again. That's awkward. Also, I mean, these 300 euros that I'm spending on DaVinci Resolve, I mean, which game you think I will make the most videos for? That's 300 euros, motherfucker. No one's gonna pay me that. And do you know do you know my electricity bill? When the machine keeps crunching all that shit? I mean, I have a big ass machine, and when I'm making videos, it's actually quite in use. So that. And immediately we can observe this dude here pipe up, lol, because, yeah, it's getting warm. So let's make solar 50, 50, 50, 50, good, that's important. Is this close? That's also not so unimportant. Oh, Fug. Dude? Oh. What the fuck just happened? Did you see that? I just observed a bug. Not the kind you can screenshot. Okay, now this has to cool down quite a lot once everything's in there. Which it will, by the things being inserted. But I don't know how exactly to proceed then. So we are becoming more and more aware of our emotion, and that's a cosmic effect. Why is that cosmic? Because it's molecular, it's nuclear, it's reality, and the first thing that ever came into existence, one of the first things in the universe, is atoms. So it's a cosmological effect. And also, another thing about my funny worldview that you probably don't share, you poor souls, if you had any idea that it's the actual truth. Anyway, the universe is consciousness Lego. And that is where our consciousness comes from. It doesn't emerge. Consciousness is not an emergent phenomenon. Self-reflection is an emergent phenomenon. That's the trick, and that's where mankind once again is too dumb to realize that that the thought process doesn't lead to the right goal because the wrong paths have been chosen a long time ago. So we have to go down to 500-ish. Whatever I put in here will eventually end up there, therefore it will not be lost. Let's see what the majority vote is in here. Oh, still burning some fuel, But the majority vote anyway is oxygen, so I would put some oxide in there, that would not be lost.
Hydration critical.
But it would cool the furnace. So that's not the dumbest choice. Save, because that could otherwise become the dumbest choice. I don't have any more oxide. Of course I have some in my emergency base over there. Yeah, you know what, let's mine a little bit while I'm at it. Just now. Do I have to drink again? could also use nitrize and pop that in there, but I don't wanna. I hate nitrize. Now it's kind of, I'm always returning to the same old rails, but that is a matter of efficiency and also matter of structures which are changing, and eventually I will certainly be more inventive and flexible here, but okay. Let's not go into that again. Things are still shifting around. I'm still building myself.
Power low.
I'm a brain engineer. Okay, so we are confronted with a cosmic effect that is us becoming more and more aware of what we want, and we are also becoming more and more aware that we, as coexisting multicellular, procreating, evolving beings, herd beings, have to implement something like the golden rule. Of course, I mean, people have to try to not be mimosa too much, because you know, I mean, maybe eventually everything will be orchestrated so fine that no one will step on anyone's toes automatically, because you wouldn't want to, and therefore your perfect karma mirror laser central position would be then that you don't actually accidentally do so, right? Else you would not be perfectly happy. Interesting problem, isn't it? Your happiness will be their happiness, and that is how you can produce light for all, and they can produce light for all just by being. In the end, you only have to be happy to produce happiness for others. That is what's upon us. You only have to experience it. You only have to experience it for someone else to get more happiness mentally, physically, and emotionally in their life. All this is upon us, and this is the hardest thing to ever achieve. That is, we are in the transition of I am to we are. And this is, of course, this leads through a phase during which neither is the truth, during which neither is present, and during which God is as far away as he can possibly be. Because that's even part of the gig. Because, for him to not wake up, he must be unaware of himself. And so we, the collective dreamers, must be unaware of the truth of this whole thing here. Now you might say, well, then you are a sinner for telling us. Let's see, I have to ponder that. Well, for one thing, no one believes me. So there's that. Sadly. And then, if they would believe me, we would still not try to wake up backwards, which would be the problem, right? But wake up forwards. This is the creator. This is the will of the creator that I'm trying to instill here, and not the will of the I am wake up God, like these egoistic pieces of dogshit assholes like Kamala Harris and others who want to take the world for themselves, who want to wake up backwards. You know, they want to make the whole world their personal fantasy. They want to be the projectors of the entire world. Sound familiar? And, you know, that's what that is. And so instead of being in the blissful light of their own being, they will be tortured by themselves. That's what will be. Hell will be real. And the fact that you cannot see this is, well, it is tied to the fact that, this is tied again to the fact that, well, not only is this whole thing hidden, there's this mechanism of us trying to not wake up, you know? So we are trying to be blind to the fact that this whole thing is the dude, aka is us. But also, there is this antichrist effect of the collective of the ones who are basically trying to wake up in the opposite direction. Who are trying to manifest the one again, you know? The many-headed demon, you know? That's also why, I mean, on the right, or the political right, you see more individual thinkers. While on the left you see more people who are considering what is the other guy thinking, believing of myself, and now I have to live up to their opinion. That's why these leftist governments are thinking, hey, we cannot shut our borders because then the neighboring countries will shun us and so forth. See, that's the collective demon. That is not the identity that does what is prudent and what they should. but instead that is the one who just grows together to one ginormous being with many heads. It's a cosmic effect, and this is the Antichrist. And this being, this collective flow, this collective orchestra, this anti-karma space flow is abusing the karma space mechanism effectively to wake up back to I am, to control the entire world with individual minds, to rule over all. And this is definitely what can be observed. I mean, everything fits perfectly, motherfucker. Yet I'm the idiot, but I will have the last laugh, and I know that with a certainty that is 100% flat. Yes, yes, for I have seen things. Large battery? Yeah. And gas sensor, yep. And then I'm already full. But I can already set the next thing, which is a console. Let's take a short break. Is this thing even recording? Hello! It appears so. I wasn't sure until now.
Hunger caution.
Yeah, we have a good power economy here. We need more batteries, but before I install more batteries, I definitely want to clean up the room. So this is basically an artificially created, perpetuated emotional driver for me to build all the other things. To really have a separated, segmented, meaningful station like I never had before. Almost never. I did something in the Zrillion playthrough that wasn't too far away from that, but then I didn't continue with that. And I admit the voice mix in the beginning, albeit nicely alien, that fit, yes it did, was a bit too intense. And later it changed it actually in a way that's agreeable, but then for whatever reason I didn't continue with that, and whatever, I go with the flow. That is what got me here, that's what will keep me going. Forever is what I assume, but okay. Because I do believe it's the time. The time of the Great Awakening. So, there would be cables here. And where would the power supply be? There's a cable on the roof, which I could guide down here. Not from the solar panels, but similarly-ish. So that would make sense to put here. Then the APC would be, or not would be, but I just put it there. Oh, no. That would be cool, huh? From there to there. No, that doesn't fly. Then I placed this wrong. And then do it like this, whatever. Who cares? So, again, about abortion, see, my position is that as long as there's not yet awareness, as long as the machinery hasn't yet allowed for the nuclear consciousness Lego to build up to a self-reflecting entity, as long as there's not yet a living dreamer, as long as there's only the infrastructure that will give rise to one, or that will give rise to the infrastructure of one such dreamer, there is no one there yet, and therefore is basically a pimple that he can squish and whatever. Of course, it's technically more valuable, particularly if someone else chooses to squish that pimple, because that is, you know, that's a different story then. But I'm saying when it comes to value, as in ethical value, zero. Exactly zero. The value of a not yet perceiving entity is as zero as the, well, it's slightly different. It's slightly different when it comes. Oh, I have no more cables. God damn it! And my filters are also running out. When it comes to people who are brain dead, it's interesting, right? People who have an opinion on abortion. What is their opinion? You must not abort. Nope, never. It's murder. What is their opinion on brain dead people? I mean, we turn off the machinery eventually, yes? But okay, this is for the potential of consciousness and so forth. Yeah, okay. I guess the debate has moved past that point, so I cannot score any there. Maybe I should empty the furnace, huh? What is the pressure doing? Here we are at 5 megapascals, and here we are at... I have no pressure thingy here! What the fuck? God damn it! Yes, see, I'm still not a true stationeer. 7 megapascals. Let's make 2 of these filter dudes. And lots of cables, of course. The trick, I mean, so what I think that people have come up with the, like, I don't know, first trimester rule. I'm not sure exactly about the date, but in principle I agree with that. And I also agree with the pro-life people when it comes to abortion after that time. Then I'm on the absolute no side, except when we're talking about medical. But this is not a mood thing. It's not like, you know what? Nah, I don't want it. Or rather, I don't like that I will have these. I didn't read weiter. I don't accept that. I mean, I don't know what to do with that information, you know? But I know that that's my position. It's no longer just you. Period. But before that, it is just you. There are no more of the bricks lying around here. I'm almost not. Maybe I could cover the floor now finally with flat walls, huh? How much copper do we have? Okay. Let's do some with that. So Marvel and Star Wars are shitting, and Disney are shitting out shows which we don't agree with. It's too much bullshit there. But when it comes to Agatha All Along, a new Marvel show, I watched the first 2 episodes and I'm curious about the next ones. I don't find that to be a dogshit show so far. I don't. It's just, if you look at it from the Marvel perspective, this is not a Marvel show, witches, seriously? I don't know if that's the angle from which some critics are coming. I don't know really where they're coming from. I am subscribed and also recommend The Critical Drinker as one of the most entertaining accounts on YouTube, and that guy is moving mountains with his movie critiques, I guess. No wonder with 2 million subscribers or how many? I don't know, lots of them. Just because I like something doesn't mean I agree with everything he says, and I disagree with this take that Agatha All Along is a superfluous turd of a show, or whatever his position really is. I can't regurgitate that now. Maybe it's shit, but in my opinion, that cannot yet be seen. This sidekick-ish kind of wizard dude kind of guy, apprentice, whatever. They didn't have to pick one of those, from the assortment of let's be diverse and choose ugly people also, this new game, Star Wars game also, I think, where they uglify the woman for whatever reason. I don't agree with that, and also I don't agree with the idea that there shouldn't be perfect models and such on the movie posters and on the advertisements and such. I'm not saying there should only be those people, but I would say that let's say I disagree basically that people are procreating with people who should not procreate too much. I know this is a super controversial viewpoint, basically. Basically, you could call it, what is the term? I don't know. People breeding term. I don't have it in my head now. But, the thing is, beauty is not something that is arbitrary. It is not arbitrary. It is an objective thing. There are different perspectives on it, but they're all zeroing in on the same thing. That's basically the divine perspective again. What is God? When you look at God from the outside, necessarily the most beautiful possible thing. Because it's logical. Because when all that exists is perception, and all that is him, or her, whatever. It doesn't make sense to talk about the sex there. Human terminology, huh? That is what makes him be, which is the substance of be, of him, of I am. Now he turns that into the thy will be done perspective, so instead of being the circle in an egoistic way, beaming the energy only at himself, so to speak, he is using this elaborate folding algorithm of the universe to fold himself around from the circle basically to the shape of an 8 or to the shape of the infinity sign, so that this becomes an outflowing phenomenon. Then he will be able to look at God from the outside, and what will he witness? Increasing, unfolding, infinite beauty. Beauty is an objective thing, and we as a people have very slowly evolved closer to being the manifestation of that thing. And that is the human being, the will in the flesh. If you think about it from that perspective, however beautiful horses are, they cannot scratch themselves in every place. For example, they are not the will in the flesh. They have their place, I believe, to exist, but they are not God. They are not the will in the flesh. They are an artifact of the becoming process, of the coexistence becoming process. But the human being, as a being even, is beauty itself. I need some more walls. And do I have some parts on me that I can use for the airlock? That has been closed. I need some pipes and insulated passive vents. I need a big, strong power line thing here, which can then also go into this hall in the same place. That will be convenient. So that will be the influx of power, so that's not a waste to use heavy cables here. I don't know where exactly, and so I will keep that open, because the transformer, will I choose a small one, a big one? I don't know. Anyway, it will be here, and I don't know where exactly the cable has to be then. Okay, I have to make a console, advanced airlock. That has been connected. That is already there. That is all connected, so I need some... do I need insulated pipes? No, I don't need insulated pipes, because the pipes will not contain anything. Hey, wait, that's stupid. No, that's wrong. I need insulated pipes, because the room atmosphere will constantly bleed into those pipes through the open passive vents. I need insulated pipes, else the pipes will cool down. I mean, cooling is not such a bad thing, but it's cool, man. But I have to... I want to consider that intently and not arbitrarily. So of course these footage or these models on the posters, they shouldn't be unrealistically beautiful, or let's say they shouldn't have, let's say that the form shouldn't be photoshopped out of reality, and these and so forth. But that they are. I absolutely disagree with these stupid decisions, but that's, you know, governments. They have just gone completely insane. We are in this time that we all have to learn to submit. So the structure that we have chosen to govern mankind, which is the centralized governments, is becoming an enemy of the coexistence in general, because governments, by definition, are commanding will instead of submitting to it, and therefore governments are necessarily of Satan. Basically, it's almost impossible for a government not to become evil. And that's what we're also observing these days. They're all becoming corrupted, evil, destroying the countries, la la la. It's logical, inevitable. And since that is a cosmic effect that is happening, that we are waking up, and that we can no longer really figure out with our minds how to really behave towards the other, and can ultimately only learn to submit, like I have been treating my next like God himself for the last 23 years. That is so. And if people would perceive consciously that this actually is so, then they would, of course, then I would become elevated in their eyes. I would become more important, which is one of the reasons that I cannot become more, that they cannot see it. They must be blind to what I'm actually doing for them. Because ultimately, the more important I am in the eyes of the people, the more I pull water, the more I actually command the flow, and so the more I am ultimately shaping the will of the people, and so implicitly the less the people agree with me having that kind of position, and therefore the more the people must blind themselves and each other from this realization. And that is all logical. And therefore it's true. Insulated pipes, do I have some? 4. That's not too many. Let's make new ones. And that's also why the people cannot yet see that we are living this karma space situation, because if you would realize the divine reality that we're actually living in, the divine, heavenly, eternal reality that we are living in right now, if we would realize that, then this would, for example, well, it would cause waves on the front of theism and religion, and atheism also, I guess. It would cause waves on the front of people who want to toss their cigarette butts on the ground, and I have no pity with these people at all. I mean, smoke if you wish, but if you start harming others or polluting the environment with that habit, then I have no good wishes for you. And that is sane. You must agree with that. You must agree or you are insane. I mean, as long as you keep it to yourself, be my guest, do what you want. It's not wise, you know that, but it's your choice, it's your life. As long as you're not guiding your child, having your cigarette butt in one hand and the child in the other.
Hydration critical.
Because then we have an entirely different thing on the table. Then we have actual harm that I wish upon you. But I said wish, okay? Let's not confuse the two. So this belongs here. So those people would have to stop that, and the politicians would have to lie to us and abuse their power and so forth and so on, and all of that would have to happen when we realize what... I mean, if the people would understand, and I know it is true, the universe is actually heaven in the making. This is the real deal. If the people would know that, would experience that, that would change the world. And so the people, by the mechanisms that I just explained, are blind to it. Because if they would see that, they would necessarily have to follow this perception. Just like when you turn your face away when you're perceiving something disgusting. You don't want to be affected by it. In kind of that way. But similarly, what did I want to say? There's also Newton's third law of motion, which plays a role here. Because, see, I said that our minds affect reality directly, but they cannot control reality. They cannot control reality, but they affect reality. That is not paradoxical. It's like, I mean, basically you're experiencing every day. You're doing something, you're deciding something, this moves reality by means of your breathing, your arms and so forth. This moves reality. In a way that's even mind over matter, isn't it? But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that that we have this kind of effect on reality directly also in other means, which fall into the territory of karma space. As in, where reality will eventually be the laser-focused light creation thingy at whose focus point everybody will be personally in absolute perfect happiness, and that doesn't mean you're going to be smiling the whole time. I mean, it's basically, when I'm having a good day, that's just normal, sane, balanced, fine happiness. Now imagine that cranked up to infinite, but still just as balanced and normal. That's what it would be. And infinite, of course, not literally, but I mean, if you're living forever, then, well, it's mathematically approaching that then, necessarily. Okay, so that will be the external-ish vent. Wait, what am I doing? Something stupid once again. That's the way, because it has to blow into this room. Okay. Okay, now we need to lay a lot of cable. I don't have too much heavy cable, so let's print heavy cable. Let's print the console. Wasn't I missing some ingredient for that? Guess I made some gold, didn't I? I'm sleepwalking this. Bop.
Space. Time.
So, with the nature of time, really, in the universe, is just that the sequence of events. There's this moment and it evolves into its future version, and it cannot ever go back. The mind cannot be rewound, and you have to think about the universe in terms of mind, because it's a mental thing. It's a projection of the mind. It is mind itself, whatever you want to call it, but that's what's going on, and the mind cannot be rewound. We keep evolving, we keep growing, we keep experiencing. It only goes forwards, and so that's time. And if you would now hypothetically rewind that to the beginning, then you would be looking at formlessness, and in the moment of formlessness you might say there's also no time, but that's not true. There's just no means to possibly measure time, because there's just no form that could possibly change. If there's no form that can change, then whether there's currently time happening doesn't play any role. In absolute formlessness, it is he who chooses freely. That's what free will means. Absolutely free. And if you think about it then either you must come to the conclusion that free will is complete bullshit, or free will is necessarily holy and therefore of God. If you really think about it, I mean, try to really describe to yourself what free will is. What do you mean when you say that? What do you mean when you say free will? So these two things, which I forgot to bring, and then we are printing stuff again. What did I want to print? Cables, of course, heavy ones. Oh, and a disc. Yes, a disc would be good. And when we're doing that, then it would also be prudent to close up this floor, which is currently clean. But, I mean, listen up. To save your soul. I mean, that's what you should try to do, goddammit. I'm really talking about saving your soul. From the fiery pits of purgatory, which would either lead to your purification or to your destruction, you should consider the following. If, indeed, you are God, and I am too, and everybody is, and this universe is him turning, or you turning the will around so that you create the light, so that you create will. And as a consequence, well, look around us, what we have. We have the flowers, we have all these things growing. We are so happy in this garden, aren't we, as the one who makes it grow? Are we not? Because that's what we are. Everybody is the light. Everybody makes the universe grow a little bit. That's what we are as a being, but if you are that not as a person, and eventually the karma space catches up with you, that will hurt. And you should consider that for God to be able to turn his will around, to do these things, to send out his will, he has to do that unconditionally. There would have been a point, or there would be a point when the second coming happens or whatever, where he would send out his will, where he would say unconditionally, be. He would say that to the outside, no matter what happens to him. Unconditional love, that is what would happen. This implies that we as beings have to be that too, towards the universe. Meaning that even though we might already be beginning to be at the heights of the apocalypse, it will not become visible until it is too late for you to turn around, because if there's an outer reason for you to go there, then this means that you are not doing the work. You are not unconditionally doing this. I want you to be, universe. I love you. You are so beautiful. No, you are running away from the hell that is catching up with you. And that's implicitly not unconditional love. And maybe that will make your running away a bit more stressful than if you... I mean, that's the thing. Maybe the only way to get there really is to do it without a reason given. Just like we should be nice to each other without there ultimately being a reason. So where's that power line? This is coming from... wait a second. This is coming from the solar panels, and where is it going? Ah, it's going over the roof and coming in here. So that's the power line that gives us power. That is not the one that I want to affect now. Maybe I should spray paint the motherfucker. I would say blue. Blue is fine for that. It's power as in electricity, and also the solar panels are kind of blue. Now let's check if I'm not doing something stupid. Stations, they always help.
Jetpack low.
So here we have that is the power line, and it goes visibly over yonder. Yeah. And I'm doing it wrong. Do I not have the spray can kind of thing on me? Should be enough for now, huh? Ah, there it is. Oh, terrain manipulator? No, I meant this one, the spray gun. Because this one multiplies what comes out of the spray can, I mean the efficiency, tenfold, at least tenfold, at least. Super, super effective. So the spray gun is something you definitely want to make. Also, it paints much more quickly, which can lead to accidents. That's why I keep clicking manually again and again, instead of just holding and doing blop, because that would just spit the entire room with blue color. But what is the power line that should also be here somewhere? That is the big one. Here we have one that goes over there. That transformer is dedicated. And here, basically I don't have a line like that at all yet. So how is this room powered then would be the question. I mean, it is powered, is it not? Or that's still part of... No, it's not.
Critical.
I think I placed a small transformer here somewhere. I have to fill up the jetpack. Just gonna be lazy about that. That's interesting. Now I have to go into the electricity room to check out some electricity things and plan some things. That is good, that this room is pulling us with this purpose. That's fun. Aha, there's a transformer, and that sends the electricity decidedly there. So what we will have to do is we would have to punch through the roof with this line here, and from there we can then lead that to any and all places. But this would mean that the transformer for that would not be in here. And I'm not sure if I agree, but I think I have to kind of... Yeah, that's okay. I'm currently at a position... Maybe I should make another such power room also later in a different place and just splice the solar panel source to there. And then I can have transformers close to those rooms, because now I would have a transformer here and then the cable would go all the way over there, and that kind of feels wrong. In other words, I will do that. Change of plans. I will have 2 power rooms. And that is what happens when you mix emotion and will well enough together. So, transformer I thought would be here. I didn't want to build too much into this direction, because that emergency room over there should never be touched by an explosion, for example. So gas tanks and furnaces and all that crap that should be far away. So I would say that power room should also not be there. Now, interestingly, I made a small power room down here, which benefits from that one and hangs from one of those transformers. But this is not supposed to become an extra power room. It's not. So we're talking about yet another room. In other words, I will already plan that there will be an airlock on this side, exactly opposite to that one. So we can kind of run through there, and also makes sense then to build the symmetry within the room. So there will be a corridor in the middle. And then over here somewhere needs to be some kind of electricity room. Yes, I really wonder whether that bullet thing that happened there to Trump, where he just turned his head in just the right moment, was him participating in his personal, mechanic of the karma space thing. But of course, I mean, with these ideas that are presented there, one could eventually end up interpreting things in reality in this way, which would be borderline psychotic or schizophrenic. Which I managed to not do. I mean, I think about things, but I don't believe them. See, that's one of the benefits of a skeptical mind, that you can entertain things without having to believe them. You can just process information. Where the fuck is the... Oh, there it is. But I wonder if that was him being lucky. So when he says, "Oh, God saved me," which is of course something he would say, I don't care about these kinds of words really, then maybe he's right. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking forward to all the bad shit that's going to happen to all the bad shit crazy people in the world. Because god damn it, have we been suffering, and are we suffering those, right? So that's the power line, and I could actually guide that along the floor here, just along the floor. Let's just do that. And regret it later, maybe. Hey, wait, is that right? It's not, is it? Ah, cool. Only goes in that direction. As the direction is supposed to go in, too. Ah, come on. Hey. And, this zoop command that people are talking about, I get it. I mean, when you're building a proper station and this one looks like it's going to become one, then, yeah. If you have maybe long tunnels of pipes and cables, then it would make sense to have something that aids you in that can just say click, release, you know, instead of doing what I have to do right now. All these individual cables. Yeah, how do we power this thing without an actual power supply? Where would that electricity room be? Should I maybe make the electricity room as a compartment of this hall? I'm not sure about that. It should rather be over yonder, huh? But this would mean that the solar panels would have to go all the way here. Oh, dude, what am I doing? Ah, fuck my life, shit. I cannot make a greenhouse like that. glass windows? The plants are incompatible with my wall timing. That doesn't fly. I have to replace all the walls again. Fuck. Yeah, I kind of anticipated something like that. See, that's the thing. Currently, my will can't push too much. Can't push things too much. And whenever I do, I realize, ah, shit, shouldn't have done that. And by doing this kind of dialogue situation here, where I'm just doing my playthrough and talking to the virtual people out there, hypothetical people, some will watch this, you know, the potential of people watching this, I am effectively, and I talked about this already in other videos, I'm using some kind of mutual, that will be done, amplification effect, which allows me to go much further than I would. That doesn't change, though, the reality of my situation. And now here we see it. My mind done goof, you know, some significant fucking mistake. I mean, huge. This is a huge mistake. I have to close up all these walls. They all have to be closed. I have to take all of this down again. All of it. Yep. And that tells me it's late enough for me to shut down this experience for today. Maybe I should replace one of these to remind myself that this has to be done instead of falling into the same stupid dream the next time. Why did no one tell me? How? This is asynchronous. This is not a live stream. Maybe I should do a live stream. I don't think my channel is big enough yet for a live stream.
Hunger caution.
Also, I mean, the things I'm doing here right now, I mean, I must take care that I don't get some kind of stupid celebrity like self-image, because that's not what I am. I'm just a dude who makes some videos, and the people are subscribing mostly probably because of some kind of bookmark idea. So, you know, oh, that's nice content, let's bookmark that instead of, hey, follow you, you know. And huh? What? Oh, 2 plastic sheets. I need plastic sheets for this? Yes, and I have plastic sheets. What's the problem? So that's a psychological effect that might sometimes happen, and I must try not to have it, because it is bonkers. That is exactly when ego goes crazy. That's when it's no longer sane.
Airtime critical.
If it's not measured with the actual reality, then whoops, whoop-de-doo. I mean, eventually I might have 10,000 people, and then I don't know if... that would still not be celebrity scale, I know. The critical drinker with his 2 million-ish people, that guy is a celebrity. So I must try not to have... to fall for shit like that. So, I realized that it is a good thing to wrap up at the end of the video what has happened, particularly what I should do next, because next time I record this playthrough, I will actually take note. I will watch the end of the video and I will see what the mission timer is saying, and I will see what I have planned for next time. So what I need to do is I need to swap out all those walls over there. And I need to make an electricity room, and that electricity will then be used there, and the solar panels on the roof should guide there. And I actually thought of this problem that I have there, that I have all the wrong walls, when I thought, hey, there should be solar panels everywhere. And then I thought, no, they will be in the way of the plants getting light, and then I'm like, shit. And that's the next plans, and that's enough plans for several episodes. And I hope this one was relatively entertaining, and maybe, well, I shouldn't preach, I shouldn't say, hey, people believe what I'm saying, but honestly, I know it's true, and the world will change accordingly, and when it happens, you will say, he was right. Anyway, good night.